stund. Bæra I kveldsbyen, der jeg her. Steng ikke veien, for jeg vil følge Guds folk til strid, over berg og bølja. Jeg fremmed, jeg en pilgrim, hver I kveldsstund, hver I kveldsstund jeg her. Steng ikke veien, for jeg vil følge Guds folk til strid, over berg og bølja. Jeg fremmed, jeg en pilgrim, hver I kveldsstund, hver I kveldsstund jeg
Ain't got nothing to say. Let's roll.
Hello tankers, Adam Snellgrove here. This month's What Monthly is going to be a bit different because I'm joined today by Captain Taito. You might know him from the World of Tanks Twitch channel. Over to you, Taito.
Thanks, Adam. You can expect me to be giving you all of the updates for events that are currently underway, with Adam being here to give you all of the juicy details for things that are to come. Anyway, before I yap too much, should we get going? Don't forget to test your mettle and jump into Onslaught. The current season lasts until November 9th, and don't miss out on your chance to grab this year's reward, the Ashbringer, sporting a unique and striking progressive 3D style with 4 different versions. But while you'll only be able to get your hands on that at the end of the Onslaught year, there are still plenty of rewards to be had this season, including bonds, improved equipment, and much more. Speaking of Onslaught, the AMD Onslaught Legend Series will be ongoing until November 9th, when you can tune in to the Grand Finals. You'll be able to witness a fierce battle for the championship title on both the European and American servers. It's something you do not want to miss. Make sure to tune in throughout the series, as there will be OLS Token Store tokens to be earned via Twitch drops. AMD has been upping the stakes for this season, with team members from the first and second place teams receiving the blazing fast AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT GPU. There is not long left to claim your goodies from the Babylon event. And when we say not long left, we mean it. The event finishes at the very beginning of November, so by the time this video is out, you might be down to your final few hours.
Look out for the hedgehogs!
Taito, I know that you're keen, but don't go taking over the whole video just yet. You'll see more of Taito next month, but for now, let's keep going. So, after OLS, there'll be the biggest offline tournament of the year. On November 22nd and 23rd, the ultimate boss steps into the arena, the World of Tanks Championship International, with the finals taking place on November 29 and 30. It's a live LAN event over in China, where teams from all around the world battle for glory and for cash. The prize pool is around 1.6 million yuan, which is more than $200,000. Can Hit and Run keep a hold of their crown and become champions for the third time? We will have to wait and see, because this year's competition is fierce. Tune into WCI at the end of November and grab some Twitch drops too. Due to the location of the event, streams will be happening at different times compared to what you're used to. Early morning if you're in the EU, or late at night in the NA region. And that's not all that November has in store. Get ready for a more accessible, grassroots esports experience. Maneuvers. It's coming early in the month. Rally your squad and battle for epic rewards, including the long-awaited return of the Chieftain. And who knows, maybe one day your team will rise all the way to OLS and WCI. Very soon we'll be fighting for more than just glory. We'll be fighting for survival and our future in the upcoming November Battle Pass chapter. We have some cool stuff and things on the way. You can expect to see more information very soon, but in the meantime, take a guess in the comment section as to who might be joining us for the Battle Pass. Steel Hunter returns in mid-November. You can expect more fast-paced, jaw-dropping action while players fight it out to be the last person standing. We've also updated the garage interface and added some new customizations to the Steel Seal store. The hunt is on. Also, coming this November, massive battles are returning in Frontline. Expect Tier 8 30v30 combat on wide-open maps, allowing opportunities for all kinds of tactics. And loads of credits to be earned. Random events will be coming to 3 more maps: Mountain Pass, Highway, and Ghost Town, bringing new opportunities for exciting tactics and gameplay. Arcade Cabinet Equalize returns for 2 weekends in mid to late November. Get ready to fight side by side with vehicles from 10 tiers. Only here can you settle the age-old question: who's stronger, the tiger or the mouse? Literally! Even though we had the release of Tier 11 with Update 2.0 in September, you won't be seeing any Tier 11s during the game mode. At least, not this time around. This November marks our first anniversary of collaborating with Boostroid. Cast your line and hook the anniversary haul with a special commander and a full set of customization elements. Quite the catch. Other guaranteed rewards are still in place too. The Astron Rex tank, 1,000 gold, experimental equipment, and more. Not only that, the roster of premium vehicles for those who have a 6-month Boostroid subscription will be refreshed in November. The celebrations don't stop there. November marks Poland's Independence Day. It's time to break out the bread with smallets, the perfect thing to enjoy while you check out the new 2D style for my Lewandowskiego. No Lewandowskiego? You can use the 2D style on any Polish vehicle instead. November brings Remembrance Day here in Europe, as well as Veterans Day in the United States. On November 11, we will honor both with a special in-game event featuring missions and rewards. More importantly, these days are a reminder of history and the lessons that it has taught us. Finally, November will also be bringing about Black Friday, meaning that there will be some fantastic offers in our merch store. Keep your eyes peeled for more news about the exciting offers towards the end of the month. And that's everything from us for now. Drop a like if you haven't already and leave a comment below the video. And I'll see you with Captain Taito next month. Cheerio!
What's up, tankers? Let's get our teeth into the best scouts and raiders on tracks, or wheels. That's right, light tanks. To get the most from these nippy little vehicles, you'll need to practice and to brush up on view range and concealment. Not long ago, we did some videos about those, so check them out if you need to. The links are in the description. Lights are often quick and tricky to spot, and they can have high-caliber howitzers or even autocannons.
The Onslaught Legends Series Season 4 is here. But Liberty finds Jockey, and Ketsai, the last one for his team, will not be able to pull the 1v3.
Onslaught Legends Series champions will be Cashback.
They do complete the Cinderella story.
Finds Akka and it's Twilight and Liberty left wondering because it's not going to be the Ukrainian team of Cashback. It's going to be W from the Fits of Hell coming through the lower bracket.
Akka blows up as well, and W completed 6-3 two times in a row. OLS champion. I think Moth Mafia are on Victory Street here on Himmelsdorf. They completely rewrite the map and rewrite all of the scripts that everyone had. It's going to be them taking the finals in a 5-1 fashion.
Tune in to the action, September 30th through November 9th.
Got nothing to say. Let's roll.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final day of the regular season of the Onslaught Legends Series Season 4, sponsored by AMD. Moff, the last day of the regular season we have gotten here. Not much can change in the rankings anymore.
No, everything's kind of grinded down to a bit of a halt, right? This last play day, unfortunately, is going to be relatively inconsequential. I think the only possibility for changing in position is between Weekend and Cashback, and that's if Weekend can get a better points difference while winning their game and Cashback loses.
Well, it's all preparation for this weekend, if anything else. Where we were going to have the OLS teams duke it out for this prize pool, which can still increase. Bundles are still available until I think November 9th, so they're going to be duking it out for that. The teams that will not duke it out for this, Moff, Yogurt, and W.
Yeah, and Kirilo and Vortex, unfortunately for those guys. But the teams that are qualified into those playoffs, they'll have their eye on the prize. Not only that prize pool that we just showed you, but also some AMD GPUs. Some nice piece of gear to get your hands hold of. Thank you to AMD, of course, for sponsoring the event. As always, very much appreciated.
So, The bundles, you could still get them. We replaced the Oracle with the Elite bundle. Same contents, just no possibility of upgrading it. If you are interested in that, I personally think the style looks very good. I've got my money on Mafia to bring it home. 2 bundles on different accounts. But you've got your eye on the prize for the people at home as well. Today, 5 more tokens to bolster your token total. But especially, remember, Saturday and Sunday we are streaming on both days of the weekend. There's going to be a lot of tokens to earn for this token store. Lance and C, Stereo WT, P2D5, Object 140 3D style, a 2D style, premium days, consumables, and a personal reserves. I had 2 different people reach out to me, Moff, and tell me the name, but I've forgotten.
Do you know what? I came prepared. I just opened a tab, opened up the article. It's called the Opalescent style. Brilliant. Well, here is the table, and it does tell a tale. There's the 4 teams in red at the bottom. They're all eliminated out of the chances to qualify for those playoffs, and that just leaves us with those 4 teams: Weekend, Cashback, Mafia, Hit and Run. Weekend really were the big upset team of this season. They sort of submerged themselves. They knocked the door down and worked their way into that top 4.
Yeah, and the rankings, they can't really change anymore. But these teams can use it as a practice run for the weekend, Moff. For the weekend and for weekend.
Yeah, man. That's a very good way to look at it. I've written down that this group of games, all of them, it's essentially more like a live streamed practice session than anything, because we know that the stakes are fairly low. This team, in this match that's coming up, they are already eliminated, unfortunately for them. But, you know, despite the fact that there's not really much at stake in these games in particular right now, there's a lot more stuff going on off the server for Team W. It's not looking pretty right now.
Yeah, I know Team W seems to be having some internal team problems that they're dealing with. And why is this important? Well, they may not be playing in the playoffs of the OLS. They are, however, going to be playing in the playoffs of the WCI. These are some interesting names. Not correct, though, not the correct ones. That's the Dopamine team above the W lineup. Unless Ferret has changed ethnicity altogether, because last time I checked, you know, but nonetheless, talking back on track, they're going to be playing at WCI. They're having some internal team problems. Frugo is benched, apparently. The cook is on the bench. He's not going to be playing with them at WCI. I don't even know at this point, Moff, is he going to be hanging out with them at WCI altogether. So playing is definitely not in the charts.
No, it's not. I did wonder whether he could stand at the back like a coach, because we know that Frugo is, you know, he's the team captain. He's there for the strategies and the calling. Sometimes we have situations in teams where the guy that's actually in charge will do like Discord calling, so they won't be literally in the game, but they'll still be calling for the team. But unfortunately for Frugo, he's not going to be able to do that at WCI.
No. He's not going to be able to do that at all, because right now it just doesn't even look like they're going to hang out. So, community prediction, only 65% in favor of Cashback. I find that very little.
Yeah, but maybe that's because the team on the left-hand side is a superstar NA roster. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, 35% for W. I mean, it's the same with any team that has like a drop in form. They have so much goodwill built up from their name value that people still have this belief in them. But especially given the circumstances that this game essentially doesn't matter at all, they'll be totally apathetic towards it. Whereas for Cashback, it technically does matter, because there's a possibility of dropping to 4th below Weekend, which would mean that you start at the bottom of the lower bracket in playoffs. So for Cashback, they should be taking this one seriously.
Yeah, they should be. For them especially, to go with a good feeling into the playoffs. Winning this is all important, especially against a disgruntled and kind of scattered W team that is trying to find their new identity going into WCI.
Yeah, you don't really ever want to be scrambling as a team, like trying to to figure things out. You want to present a united front up against a team like Cashback, and that Cashback was one of those teams where we thought they were the ones that were going to be in turbulent times coming into the season, but they definitely stabilized and looked to be as good as ever.
Map pick and bans, however, between W and Cashback. It's going to be Ensk as very first one. Brawly map coming out immediately into Morovanka. Another very brawly map into Cliff. It's brawl o'clock for these teams.
Yeah, it certainly is. But I mean, a lot of the maps that we get in Onslaught are favoring towards, or tendency towards, these kind of brawly games. And the way that W played in the last round up against Hit and Run, that was kind of like their Hail Mary, right? They had to win that game in order to make it through, and they brought some interesting ideas towards Ensk. Bliskowitz's actually pioneered by Weekend, but Bliskowitz's are generally like not that popular. But if you think about it, I know you've played a lot of Bliskowitz on your stream recently in Onslaught. It is like basically the highest DPM tier 10 technically at point blank range, and if you combine that with an Inspire ability, it's very, very powerful.
It's indeed very, very powerful. Now, will this be the case? We'll see. Ensk has a different variety of tanks altogether that can be picked. We've seen Forge B, Z4s, Type 5s. It's a little bit of everything. What style do you like the most, though?
I don't like the Type 5s. I've got to be honest. I mean, E4s is always the safe bet, just because it's probably the easiest tank to play, as well as being one of the best. So for stability's sake, I'd prefer E4s and Foch B combinations. But here we go. W coming into their final match in Season 4 of the OLS. They will not be in those playoffs. They're going to bring triple BZ75, 140 Bliskowitz, and double E4.
In return, Cashback, triple Foch B, Bliskowitz, 140 Type 5, and a BZ. That Foch Bs versus the BZs, which one of the two do you prefer?
Well, the BZs have got a lot of health exactly to try and counteract the clip potential of the Foch Bs, but I do prefer the triple Foch B. It's definitely a potent fighting force for sure. And they're crossing on the red line, so they're not going to be spotted in the beginning. Some of the players will be able to check and see those fences being knocked over at the back. Their Brainbreaker taking a shot of damage in the beginning of the round, taking a little bit more from Squeezy, who immediately activates his Inspire ability, perhaps a little bit prematurely there, but W, they're just going straight for the push here. They are not messing about, and at the moment, if they go for this push, the triple Foch B, the double Foch B, and the Blisk are out of the game.
Out of the game, and they're going through with those BZs and Bliskowitzes on towards Liberty, Aka, and Brainbreaker. W trying to find this push, but Liberty waiting for Klurf, already starting to clip out, finds a few shots. He's gonna pop that high level ability, may I add, on the Foch B, taking some damage now. He's not taking that many shots because they simply realize it's not really worth it. Itox decides to shoot anyways. They're trying to get him out of the game, but look at that Foch B coming onto the heel, is able to get a lot of that HP back, trying to survive, trying to give Aka all the time that he needs to farm a decent amount, but Liberty goes down in return. Aka not doing too much better, down towards 1.3. W coming in strong on this first match against Cashback, but in the meantime Cashback is going for those E4s of Ios and Jakefa, but they don't have the damage right now to really deal with that. Vladislav is moving on towards Ios instead. Can he find the kill with the Ram as well as Mindbreaker to pick it up? But now Mindbreaker pretty low, Brainbreaker pretty dead, and it's only 4 left standing from Cashback. This quick push through from W so far paying dividend. Vladislav deciding to abandon Mindbreaker, who's going to die on that part of the map as well. Twilight getting some damage into a Squeezy, but a 3-on-4 situation with W currently leading.
Yeah, they looked a bit unsure of themselves as they pushed in, but ultimately they just had so much time to kill those tanks in the south corner of the map because the rest of Cashback was just so very far away. Itox now going to swing around the corner, try and finish that kill on the Bliskowitz. It's still technically a 4v3. The HP's not like that far apart, but Twilight unfortunately is a bit isolated, which means Mentos is just able to find that kill. Now Vladislav pushing in. Good heal ability timing, and he will heal a decent chunk of that back, but he is now on reload, and the rest of W going to give chase. Squeezy still alive on basically full HP in that Inspire tank, so there's nothing left for these Foch Bs but to scurry away and try and waste some time.
Little will take the strike as Vladislav goes down. Yeah, this push from W ended up working out. Little is going to dodge the strike nonetheless, so that's a good move from him, but it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. There's a second one coming out there on towards him. This one will hit home. He's not going to get to the healing aspect. No, he is actually, and they start ticking up, but the Bliskavica says no. Puts him down in the grave. W picking up that first round, and we talked about it. For them, this is definitely an opportunity to get some live team coordination going, some practice for WCI later on.
Yeah, it is essentially live stream practice at this point, and with that internal drama going on, this is a good way for them to get in an official match, like an official capacity that actually matters for the other team, and just try and work out their team chemistry and how things are going to work by the time we get to WCI.
Top damage, I talked with the Bliska, but across the team, pretty good spread them off. From 2.5 to 5.1, nobody really falling behind, but nobody also excelling too much. Good spread altogether. For Cashback, also the spread is good. They just didn't end up consolidating anything after that quick push from W.
No, I'd say the fact that Aka gets caught is probably the main issue for Cashback there, that he does only 2k in the 140 and doesn't manage to escape. Brainbreaker was always going to die in the Type 5, but it just kind of is what it is, and it's a pretty textbook round in the end.
Yeah, just all around really, really solid stuff from W. And that's exactly what they need. Cashback, it also depends how serious they are taking this. You said it still matters, so a little bit, so I think they want the points. Nonetheless,
well, it depends on the order of like tiebreaker rules, right? Because so basically, if Cashback lose this and they don't get a losing tiebreaker point, if they lose this, they get 0 points, and Weekend win their match, then Weekend can go on to equal points as Cashback. So it depends then what the round difference is, or whether it's counting head to head first, because Cashback won against Weekend in phase 2, but they lost against mid phase 1 as well, so I'm not exactly sure what the order of the rules are. My prediction's in the bin already, and you're right there with me. Kihan's still alive at the moment, just about, but he needs Cashback to win the next 4 rounds in a row. And Baby, God bless him, he's still a believer.
I mean, I also voted 4-0 for Cashback, so my dreams are shattered.
I think we definitely went for a vibe prediction based on the information available that came in late yesterday evening. But they could take it in the complete opposite way, right? Because I suppose if you look at it, treating this game like it doesn't really matter and not taking it seriously is not, it's not really. It's a kind of a wasted opportunity, I think, right? Given WCI and how much now that's your primary focus as a team, why would you not try and play this game to the best of your ability to show that you're still a capable team?
Battle number 2 on Ensk. Triple BZ, Mouse, a Type 5, double Push B for the side of W.
Cashback BZ, Mouse, 140, double Blisker, double Fosh B. So that's a lot of firepower on those turretless tank destroyers. No Inspire for W. That is definitely worth noting. There's a lot of HP in their lineup as well, especially when you add the second wind ability of the Fosh B's healing potential.
Double Bliskovice on Ensk. It's a really strong tank, but I'm not always the greatest fan of it. I played it a lot recently, so I know its limitations as well. It can be great, but again, can still be kind of annoying because of that APCR ammo.
I mean, essentially the tank is designed to do one thing, which is just Unga Bunga straight into your opponent, right? It's when you don't have much gun arc, it's kind of difficult to peek into someone. You can't side scrape or anything. It's difficult to get your shots off without taking damage for free, so you're essentially just designed to YOLO into an opponent and just try and out-trade them from there. Brainbreaker into the cap for Cashback, and we've seen this position played by BZ before. He's actually surprisingly safe in that position from various different angles. Of course, W are collecting 2 strikes, so base capture not really a particular threat here. Mentos is going to get... He's going to take a little scratch on his tank as he just leaves the strike, but now Cashback are pushing forwards here. But W, they've got double BZ on the 0 line.
That's double BZ going to be holding, but Cashback is not really going for that part of the map though. They're currently just trying to put some pressure. They now spot out the Force Bs coming across the 5 line. Little in quick succession follows up with his own Force B from behind. Ios pops the ability, now trying to drive through. They realize that they got caught off guard by this Cashback lineup and are forced to keep pushing. But now Brainbreaker and Twilight in the BZ and Bliska kind of in no man's land, trying to make something happen here, but they get a big old HC shot in the back as well. Brainbreaker about to just disappear in a mere second. It gets rammed to that by Itox. Ios not doing too much better. Twilight, it's about surviving for as long as he can in this scenario. I think he even fluffs the shot. He will die. But look in the north side. Look at B8. There is a Force B over there for the side of W as well. He does have some shells available by the looks of things. Not enough to kill Mindbreaker, but enough to drop him pretty low nonetheless. But look at the overall HP in return. Both teams are going to lose 2 tanks. However, W has 7,000 more HP.
Yeah, it's a 5v5, but as you rightly point out, the absolute gulf in the amount of HP available for both of these teams. W, they're just going to drive straight back at them, and Cashback, they do have the Inspire, but I don't think Jackether's 4,000 hit points particularly care.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's just going to drive in with the Type 5, tap the mouse, and the rest of them follow up, and W is actually going to win. Ends, by the looks of things, 2-0. Not really expected. You thought, or you would think, that the surprise with the double Force B from behind from Cashback would be a potent one, and I think it was, but they had those 2 tanks, you know, Twilight and Brainbreaker, so deep in enemy territory, there was no retreat for them.
Well, the timing as well wasn't there really, right? The double Force B that comes in from the city, sure, they were able to get the jump on the counterparts from W, but as you rightly pointed out, because Yoz was able to activate his ability and drive through the middle of the map before he died, all of that damage the Fosh Bs were able to inflict essentially amounted to nothing, and then they were always giving chase, always behind the immediate fight to the game.
So, looking at it, W starting strong, and for Cashback, you know, this is a match of trying to see where they stand, and if they're going to struggle against this W, that's a bit worrying for Saturday as well. Got to take that into consideration. But W is playing really stress-free though. Like, they have nothing to gain in this match, and it is a different dynamic.
Yeah, playing without pressure is definitely something that can be to your benefit psychologically as a team. I think, you know, again, that internal drama, perhaps it's motivated them in a new way. But, you know, I suppose it's the other question is, why didn't we see this earlier in the season? I don't think I can recall a start to a match like this where W has looked so commanding. Like both of those last 2 rounds were complete shutdown. Cashback didn't really have a way in.
No, they were very deep with 2 guys, unable to retreat, and sure, you know, Cashback found some kills in return, but when you're playing against a really heavy composition, trading 2 kills for 2 is usually not the greatest part if there's like a Type 5 and a bunch of HP left behind it.
No, that Type 5 has a lot of HP for sure, but W, they win their map pick, and Jackether coming top of the leaderboard for his team, doing 8 shots, 8 hits, and 8 penetrations. That's absolutely beautiful. That's what you love to see from the Type 5 heavy player, especially when you're just completely ignored by your opponent.
Brainbreaker doing only 1 shot of damage. Not so a good series for him so far. That's 2 times around that you see him do, you know, a little bit. What is he supposed to do though in that scenario? They made a trap and they got trapped themselves in return. Ends though 2-0. I think that ruins everybody's predictions almost.
I mean, you know, Baby, he has faith in W. He went for a 4-2, but maybe he didn't believe quite enough. This could be a very quick series in the opposite direction to what we anticipated. Muravanka is going to be the next map up. Obviously, that is Cashback's pick, and we know, you know, I feel like we bring it up basically every time. It's a map that's slightly more open. There's possibilities for Wrath tactic gameplay, the way that W have sort of trademarked the different way that you can play in Onslaught. Cashback, of course, you know, we're in season 4 now. They will be mindful of that fact and hopefully prepared should that be the case.
True. So we've had ends 2-0 in favor of W, really unexpected to be honest, but then again, for them it's really good. Like we said, it's live practice. There's nothing better than live practice, especially for a team that needs to get used to whoever is leading now.
Yeah, that's an interesting question that you pose as well, is who would be the next voice in the team? Oh, you think it's Mentos? Do you know that for a fact? Or
I know that for a fact.
Ah, okay. That's interesting then. Mentos coming in to that team. He only came in season 3, right? And now leading the way for them. It
was a hit-and-run sabotage attempt. Mentos came in, took over the team, got Frugo out, and next season he's going back to hit-and-run. Yeah. Main competitor dismantled.
That is genius. He's infiltrated spy in the enemy camp, destroyed them from within, and then return. The agent goes back to hit and run. Yeah, that's an interesting hypothesis for sure.
Get eaten by the snake to then cut it open from the inside. Muravanka number 1 though, triple BZ, E50M, Object 140, 430U, and an RHM.
Meanwhile, Cashback going with a CS, double E50M, 140, 430U, Bliskowitzer, and also an RHM. No BZs for Cashback this time. They've gone away from one of the top 3 most played tanks in this current meta, preferring E50Ms to be their sort of pseudo-heavies.
We'll see what they make of this. W, however, with that BZs could play a quick cap game if they wanted to. And it's going to be hard for Cashback to deal with this easily because, you know, BZ is a powerful tank, but mainly killing it is the aspect that takes a while.
Can I make an observation?
No.
Okay. Yours is playing the light. Normally it's always Clerf. So we're talking about changes for this team. That's an interesting one as well. Yours being the light tank player instead of Clerf, who's done it for pretty much the majority of every single season. Double BZ is spotted on the church here, and they would dearly love to push in towards Akka, but I think they realize the crossfire is too much for them right now. Vladislav has an angle in the Bliskowitzer, there's also a 430U, and of course Cashback are taking control of the Magic Forest as well. Radar is used, so they now know that that is going to be the case. Clerf will promptly run away in his 430U, and W will try to push out the 1-2-3, try to get rid of Little. He's the only remaining anchor position really that Cashback has, and once Little runs away, Vladislav's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Not just Vladislav. Akka as well in the CS63 in trouble. Vladislav now realizing what's happening, uses the hut to his advantage to shield himself, but that CS63 in the middle also in a little bit of trouble. Now the BZs from W transitioning towards the north. That's a double that's a big strike coming out. Not a double, but look at the damage Mentos receives. Minus 1.3, minus 1.6. That's Little who backed away. That's a big strike as well. Gonna drop him towards a one shot. Another strike coming in. That one will finish the job. Mentos goes down. Twilight in a pretty annoying position for Itox to deal with. That 430U is going to play pretty safe from there. You can see the damage taken to Overpeak. Vladislav, however, will go down. If Itox could find the kill, the trade wasn't great, but not the worst.
Yeah, now W, the HP is even. Both teams got 6 tanks, guns alive. Itox just manages to get that kill before he goes down. Twilight, unfortunately, going to be falling there. Nepal is now actually pushing across the open because Little is trapped behind this building and no one's really in position to cover him. Nepal just needs to take his time with this shot, but he's getting face-hugged by an E50M, and that newly buffed armor sometimes a bit of an annoyance to deal with. Now Akka is taking punish as he's getting crossfired from multiple angles as he still tries to hang on in the center of the map, but it's collapsed for Cashback here. The crossfires are gone, which means that Klurf is going to be able to move in undetected, sent on a solo mission to assassinate that CS-63, which he will do with significant ease, given that he is a 430U and he is on full HP. Now, with just 3 guns remaining for Cashback, the HP difference is still not that bad, but it's a 5v3 and Yoz is still alive.
It's looking worse though. It's about to be match point from W, all things considered. Mindbreaker getting spotted out by Squeezy, getting converged upon by Nepal and Klurf. I think may have even gotten planes so they know what direction he was heading. Nepal using the boosters, finds the shot, tracks him as well. Klurf now coming in as well. He is the one to miss it out, but Liberty also in the vicinity, trying to escape, trying to evacuate. But where are you going to evacuate to? There is no lifeboats to get you out of this one. You're going down with the ship. Liberty may run, but he cannot hide whatsoever. Barreling down the 0 line, he is in that little light dying to try and get away, but his retreat is cut off already by the RHM taking A5, and W will put themselves on match point after just 3 rounds out of the possible 7.
Yeah, it's this new era that W are about to move into. It's currently 100% win rate. So
little too late.
It is.
No, not 100% win ratio. They already had this lineup last match.
Ah, that's true. It's true. But we didn't know about any sort of official benching.
I did.
At that point in time. Oh, wait, okay. Well, all right, you got your sources. A bit of the kills of journalism.
Yeah, I'm well informed. More breaking news at 8 or 9 as the story develops. W and Frugo. No, but nonetheless, 3-0. Confidence booster, right? WCI is not that long from now, Moff. Like, they're literally leaving... What is it, next week?
Yeah, it'd be a week and a bit.
Yeah,
about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks, so it's not that far away.
No, it's not, and you know, we'll just keep emphasizing it, the importance of you know, the usefulness of playing a live streamed practice session for whatever that's worth. Of course, you don't want to leak any kind of creative strats that you've got, so both teams just probably running through their standard playbook. Jackifer coming top damage again. Nicely done from him. 4.7k in that E50M. Yoz just staying alive in that RHM. I do think it's worth talking about, because it's not, you know, a lot of teams, it's not very often that you just go around switching your main RHM player. Especially when Klurf had done and fulfilled that role for so very long, for like 2 seasons back to back. It is interesting that they've decided to make that move.
Maybe it was a map-related thing.
I don't think so, though. I mean, you could be right, but I don't think so. Anyway.
I mean, maybe they're practicing it this way for China. It could be, you know, maybe they want to do it that way. It's possible. Sure.
Yeah, you know, that could be the case. But W, you know, maybe if they want this extended practice session to continue, they might want to give Cashback a couple of rounds, or at least...
You want to end the practice on a positive note, Moff?
You do want to end practice on a positive note, I suppose, when the vibes are high. Quit while it's good.
I know that from all of my fame practices, we always ended on a positive note.
I feel like that's not the case, just based on your tone of delivery there. But nonetheless, this is the most dominant series that we've seen from W in the entire season, I would say, especially up against Cashback. Like, we consider Cashback to be like a pretty solid team, maybe not the total juggernaut that they once were in season 1 and 2, but I mean, right now the W's putting on a clinic.
A little too late though, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe they should have kicked Frugo earlier. Wait, what?
Whoa, yeah, okay. Well, speculation. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that.
About which one?
Anything, any of it.
You come off. As a caster, you can say whatever you want, you know, and you just say, it was for content, it was just a joke, and get away with it. So,
I will bear that in mind going forward.
Speak your heart's desire.
Maybe I just have like unconscious media training, I don't even realize it, unlike the W team.
Yeah, we're still waiting for a W statement though, you know?
An official statement.
An official...
They need to make a Twitter account.
The official organization of W regret announcing parting ways with our former captain, Frugo. We will now be moving forward with our new acquisition and wish him all the best in his future endeavors in China.
Well, the media manager can get working on that after the battle. But W looking to close this one out cleanly and make it a clean sweep across the board, bringing double BZ, triple E50M, a 140, and an RHM.
Cashback and return BZ75 times. Wow, Moff, wow.
I know.
You have the really good eyes, huh?
Maybe.
You may not be working out anymore, Moff, but your eyes are still, you know, on point.
The plane is used by Liberty.
That's a good one. 6.
6, yeah.
6 is not 7.
We both have good eyes. We both have good eyes.
Thank you.
Good information for Cashback as well. The 6 guns spotted. They know everything really. I mean, it was only the light not spotted.
Nepal boosting into the cap. Finds the position, aims the shot, and misses it. I'm always a big fan of using the French guy in a tank that has boosters, simply because it's like another passive boost to the ability of runaway.
Apart from the fact that if you use the boosters, then you literally can't reverse and run away. So.
Yeah, but you turn the tank the other direction.
But if you're used to pointing your tank in that way, then I suppose. Anyway, W repushing in towards the forest. They're not known about right now. Of course, they were spotted pushing towards the 1-2 line at the beginning of the game by Liberty's brilliantly put plane.
They can catch Mindbreaker for this. It's going to be... Nepal is running away. Mindbreaker... It's a game of counterclockwise rotations right now. Aka will spot with the radio tower. It will be reset actually by IOS, so they do find the reset on him.
I don't think he got reset. I think he left, no?
No, I think
he's full HP.
IOS hit the track more with reset as well, right?
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I thought Aka might have just been scared and backed off after he got spotted there. Mindbreaker actually pushing forward into this position in the window, which is going to be awkward for Clerf to deal with. He's going to have to try and figure out a different way to approach in towards Mindbreaker, actually just backing away. Retreat into the Magic Forest. Mindbreaker entrenched here, but his team does need to come and support him. It's actually Twilight who's had the rougher go of it right now. He's gone down to a one-shot. Basically already dead. Itox taking 1600 hit points of damage as he moves back across towards the Magic Forest as well. So the entire W lineup over here now.
Yeah, a bit of an overreaction from W. They really thought that the fight was about to erupt, but it wasn't. So Itox took a lot of damage for no reason in a way, because they really thought there was going to be a big repush, but there isn't. Twilight goes down for free. There's no reaction from his team. Nepal now kind of in the open as well, trying to boost away. They're trying to play off this 7v6, but how much damage do they take before they will get into those positions? Nepal now taking even more, down towards 437. He's almost dead. A strike will do it. Does he have a heal? No, he doesn't. He needs to run. He needs to go because he's about to die, and I think W realized this fact as well. They're opting to go for the push. In the meantime, they're down 4,000 HP. They do have a gun advantage, but can they utilize that? Little finds Nepal. That's the strike coming out. In return, Aka dead. Mindbreaker in that window, tanking it out. However, can they find him in return? Mentos going for the push, but gets immediately two-tapped from the back lines. Opts do not want to go for that. Backing off. Jakefa now taking damage as well. 3,000 HP lead. No commander for Jakefa. Mindbreaker seems like a position they cannot break right now.
Yeah, Liberty will get plane tiers. Does get spotted in the open, but not before they manage to secure that kill on Jakefa, who overpoked in his E50M and got caught. And now, Cashback, they've got a 4k HP advantage. It's even in guns, and both teams still have the light tanks alive on relatively full HP. But just look at how much of the map that Cashback have been able to close off. Little peeking forwards. Oh, Little taking a lot of damage. That's not insignificant on the BZ75, but he does have a lot of HP remaining, which is going to be useful to him. Squeezy now is going to peek on towards his left, though. So is anyone actually going to be able to stop him from peeking? Squeezy does get planed by Liberty, which is going to prevent him from poking for free, and that's definitely going to stop him from poking as he gets slapped in the face for 1k damage.
Immediately takes the 1k to the face. The plane will hit him. It was close to actually missing him. Little fancying a little bit of a peek. Opts not to go for it. The shell missing from Liberty, that's plain gone and done. He will not get a replay for a while. There's an E50M pressuring him out. Not sure which one that is right now. It is actually Itox that's pressuring the A-line. They're taking another strike in the middle of the map. IOS in the meantime getting repushed by Brain Breaker, though. Needs to be careful with that RHM. He's getting tracked. He has some cover from Klurf and Squeezy, which are rolling in to cover him. He gets tracked again. He goes D-spotted, however. Makes the shot, misses it, gets respotted because of it. Klurf now wants to trade it out, takes a strike to the face immediately. Little taking another strike. Itox in the meantime in the north taking a lot of damage as well. It's still 3,000 lead, and there's another strike inbound potentially. They need to kill Brain Breaker, but they cannot lose anybody for it. Squeezy down towards the one shot. Brain Breaker's going for it, wants to get the kill, but it's Vladislav instead that comes in with a really healthy E50M. Itox is dead. The ram coming out from Vladislav, but he overshoots it. IOS will survive for a second more, but no longer than that. And now Klurf, the last one standing, and it all came off of losing Nepal there. They didn't need to lose that BZ, I find.
Yeah, I think Nepal, because of the fact that everyone else rotated into the forest, he felt very vulnerable, he felt exposed, and he felt the need to run away. Whether that was his call or whether that was the team's decision, we don't know. But that, you're right, that was basically a BZ-75 from full HP. But even after that point, the round was still recoverable for W. They lost a bunch of HP on Jakifer kind of needlessly at one point as well. A very scrappy game from both of the teams, to be honest. But I think ultimately Liberty's planes came in a clutch and really saved the day. The point where Squeezy just tried to peek in his 140 and he got farmed, I think that really swung the momentum.
Yeah, that 140 peak took a lot for that. If they were able to somehow get Little out without losing too much for it, then who knows. But the moment he peaked, he immediately deleted. And Nepal does one shot there, which is the same as Twilight. I really don't think he needed to go that aggressive towards the forest.
Well, he was sitting in the strike, right, which was actually about to come off of cooldown anyway. And he could just sit there, and his team, you know, they had a mobile setup with everyone else. They definitely could have facilitated him by rotating back across the map. So maybe a slight misplay there. Of course, Little was the one that profited off of that the most, because then he was able to farm the pole as he left, and then take the strike for himself, and then repush into the forest.
So, Ravanka done into Cliff Moth. It's going to be fast no matter what.
Maybe. Although, you know, even Cliff has ways of forcing the battle to be slower. Should you be so inclined? But I'm more likely to expect just BZ spam into the middle, focus the fire, game done.
Yeah, I mean, could be. We've seen W cook with a mouse on this, but that was, you know...
That was back in Season 2, yeah.
That was when Frugal was still the captain.
In his prime. Back when... The cooking was optimal. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. So I feel like W as a team, even during this season, right, like before the drama, I feel like they'd kind of shifted away from doing stuff like super unorthodox and just generally playing more in line with what the meta was, with what everyone else was trying to play. And maybe to their detriment, because they weren't used. It was more of like a hit and run style of play, right? A brawl based setup. So perhaps like the issues, if I was to diagnose what went wrong for them in the season, the issues is maybe they just weren't used to, or totally used to playing that type of rounds.
Kind of curious to see the lineups. Blitzka is not really played on this map. And if he would cook...
It's never too late in the season for an FV to aim up at the hill.
I mean, we haven't barely seen any, and we will not see any here either. Double BZ, CS63, triple E50M, and a 140 for W.
Cashback going 50B, double BZ, double CS, M60, and they are bringing a Bliskovitz Sadeki to Cliff. Still a curious choice for sure, but more curious is the M60. I think Cashback played it a couple times already in this season. To be honest, I don't really understand what they see in it over a 140 or an AX. I know it's got 350 heat, it's got nice gun handling, but like, let's be real, basically every Inspire medium has good gun handling in this mode, so that's not really like that much of a consideration. I guess the speed as well is also something that can be considered to play a part. Double CS going towards the middle. Are they going to go up the hill? Little might. Brainbreaker's crossing towards Deji in D3 right now. Itox crossing over towards Donut as well. The rest of W going towards the middle. Little is playing the ramp right now, not going up on the hill, and he needs to be careful because those BZs might just go straight for him, but he is being supported by the rest of his team from the ruins. Liberty in the 50B is going to try to get off a good clip here. The Bliskavitzer as well. They're already W bleeding a lot of damage for the situation. The crossfire combining with Little, with Brainbreaker from Donut. W in a big crossfire.
And the crossfire continues. They're really opting to try and kill Little, but so far they have not been able to do that. Nepal now going towards the top. Little actually escaping down and survives. Ito's getting pressured back by Brainbreaker. It's going to be a one-on-one there as well. Not too sure who's going to be winning that one. Little peeking. Nepal doesn't get it. Now they want to move on towards Aka in that M60. Nepal hitting the gun with heat. Now taking a lot of damage in return. Mentos coming in, wants to give a shot as well, but Nepal is going to die. In the meantime, on 1-2 line, Brainbreaker versus Itox is going to be a stalemate as well, and I think that Brainbreaker might be winning that one. They do find Little. Can they get Aka? They can indeed. Mentos finds it, but it's still an HP lead for the side of Cashback by about 3,000, which is a lot on Cliff. Jakefa trying to disperse back. Brainbreaker did win that 1v1, and that's important because that gives a strike towards Cashback if they needed it, but it's not looking like they will, as the crossfire they had in the beginning and the fact that Brainbreaker won his 1v1 will bring them across the finish line. They tried, they didn't succeed. Cashback, clawback, another 2-3, 2-2.
Yeah, it's gone brilliantly for them in the last two rounds. Mindbreaker still on full HP. In that Bliskavitzer, Squeezy will be the last one to fall, and I think we can just say that this was lost on opening, right? The crossfire that Cashback had initially was too much for W to deal with, and by the time they got their bearings and figured out what they wanted to do, the damage had already been done.
Yeah, they really wanted to kill Little, but he traded his life off well, then escaped even at a good moment to reassess. Then they tried to kill the M60, BT-75 gun, strikes, shooting heat at an M60, you hit the gun, you bounce a shot, and then you die in that BZ. And for Nepal, this was probably a terrible round. 2 terrible rounds in a row, actually. If you're him, probably not enjoying the BZ too much.
It's not very often that you get to have a fun game in the BZ, though. Usually you're always going in first and dying, and if you're going in first and not dying, then you don't have DPM to do much damage anyway, and it's usually everyone else that's picking up the pieces. Good damage from Mindbreaker, good damage from Liberty in the 50V, also Brainbreaker, worth a mention with that cross-firing. Vladislav picked up 3 kills in the round as well, just driving around in that BZ, and like you said, Nepal at the bottom for W in that one. Only able to do 2 shots of damage. The E50Ms and the 140, they never really got going.
No, they never really ended up doing too much. It's just tough because you really want to kill Little, but at the same time you can't, you know?
Yeah, maybe a case of just trying a bit too hard to force a situation, but obviously, given that they don't know where their opposition are positioned, greatly done by Cashback, just recognizing that Little is the tank that's going to get pressured or receive the most heat, and just protecting him appropriately.
Now, tiebreaker Moff, do you believe?
I mean, why not? I mean, this game, the low stakes, it goes all over the place. There's no reason why Cashback couldn't just tie this one up and take us to that tiebreaker. I know who wants W to win in this particular round, though, and that is Baby, for his prediction's sake. But, I say but, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Sometimes maybe good.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Exactly. So, can Cashback bring it back. It's like, you know, that gives me flashbacks to the Mafia hit and run game. 3-0, 3-3, and then hit and run runs away with it at the end.
Yeah, and the stakes were a lot higher in that one though, and I think, you know, the pressure that hit and run applied in that clutch mattered more by the time we got to that final tiebreaker. But like obviously, because the stakes are very, very low in this game, it just doesn't have the same effect, does it?
There is still time to take an AV. There is still time. It actually works pretty well on this map, though.
Yeah, it does, and we've seen it in way back in Season 1. Has been utilized on a couple of occasions. That cashback lineup looks interesting. A Mouse, double 57, Type 5, 140, STRV, and Liberty in the RHM.
W, Quad BZ, double CS63, and 140. A Mouse is what W used once upon a time themselves on 1-2 line. It's a big pinata that's hard to dig through.
Yeah, I have to say this is eerily similar to that particular battle of water tanks with the 57s as well, plus a sniping tank destroyer in Little, the STRV. Liberty, did he use a plane at the start? I don't think he did. And look at where he's going. Oh, that's interesting. He's playing passive in the bush line here to try and, so he's going to try and guarantee that he can spot anyone going up the hill, try and spot the rotation from across towards Donut as well by being in that position. Cashback obviously playing for the slow control game, and W, it depends, you know, they're going to figure it out quite soon that their opponent does not intend to actually directly fight them.
Twilight's on this 1-2 line with a Type 5 pushing towards the rock. I mean, taking damage on the cross aim, but it's a Type 5. You can't really stop it from reaching there. The Mouse reaches the middle. Klurf taking some damage from the STRV. He will realize that they have one, and he's actually getting crossfired by Twilight.
Yeah, is it impossible for him to sit safe in the strike there with the STRV bearing down upon him as well? And Twilight, being so tall, can actually shoot over the rock with his Type 5, and Klurf gets heavily punished, and that's gonna open the floodgates, really. It's cleared the path for Cashback to try and take Donut for themselves, and with double T57 heavy, if they're able to peek up against the BZs close, this could be really quite nice for them, to be honest. The BZs they don't seem to be aware of this at all. The double 57 heavy could get in some great clips right now.
Rainbreaker makes 2. Mindbreaker pops his ability, gives 2 as well. Looking for the third. Klurf now backs away from that corner, but that just
a mouse
pushes him into the middle of the map. Aka's climbing the hill in the meantime. Little picks up Klurf, who was running away. Drakefan on the crossing, getting tapped as well. Aka's still somewhere between, I don't even know, man, the middle and the top of the hill, giving another shot. A big strike coming out as well. W now forced to death push, I guess is what we would call this. They're all here. They have a Hurricane from below. CS63 pushing in. Squeezy taking some damage. Can they delete? Can they make this work? Can they get the tanks out? It does look like they'll find Twilight, but they'll need so much more than this. IOS will chase Mindbreaker down, but first they're gonna pick up Twilight. They need to kill Mindbreaker, and even more than that to make this worthwhile, because honestly, killing the Type 5, that's exactly what he needs to do. They have in the meantime lost the cap, which is going. There's no strike available, except for, of course, the CS63 strike, but they don't have info right now either.
Yeah, they don't have info. They don't have anything, really, apart from the donut. They need to go and reset the cap, and this is a great move by Cashback, just constantly applying the pressure, pressing where it hurts, and poor Itox and Jakiva, this is definitely going to hurt for them to repush back across. Cashback are hiding right now. Are they even going to be able to get there in time to get a reset? There's no mini strikes. There's a reset, but no, there's no reset. The strike came in, but Vladislav was able to dodge. Base has been captured. We're going to tiebreaker.
Yeah, the mini strike came out at the end. An oversight for them. By the way, nobody went for the info. The info was coming back up. And it was seconds after they were pushing 1-2 line. I think they would have made it on the info on time to actually spot, but IOS waits as long as possible to put it. He puts it, but Vladislav, I think it was just on the edge, so he dodges it.
Yeah, and for the guys at home, when a strike is placed like directly on your head, not only do you have the strike indicator sound, but there's like a little like ring. It's like a bell ringing that tells you that it is basically right next to you. So Vladislav can use that information to try and dodge. And because it's obviously, I think it was a level 1 baby strike as well, it makes it's not a very large circle, so it's quite easy to dodge. Vladislav actually clutched the MVP while doing 0 damage in the 140. Just sit in the cap and dodge the strike.
Huge. Absolutely huge gameplay from Vladislav. Yeah, no, this was a really tough round for W. They lose 3 in a row. They're looking at a tiebreaker. Cashback might just
snatch it.
Yeah, might just snatch it.
They'll grab that back. I think there's something quite poetic about a W strategy, or similar, like comparative strategy, from all the way back in Season 2 being used up against them to take them out. Ghost Town will be our tiebreaker. Both the teams do like to play the map. And Cashback have indeed picked the south side of the map, whatever that means.
South, I mean, you know, it means you picked south on Ghost Town. How much?
So given that the map is symmetrical, I can't say I read too much into it. Almost symmetrical. I mean, maybe there's like some decisions to be made with angles that you get on like the outside strike, because of the different boat positions. I think Cashback, I remember them recycling a play a number of times where they played with a can opener, and Liberty.
Everybody though played with a can opener at some point.
Yeah, everyone played with a can opener, and that tank did get buffed in the ability as well. So even more reason to use it.
I'm a big fan of the can opener, especially when I'm playing with lowish pen guns and randoms. It's fantastic.
Yeah, lots of fun for people to fight up against, especially when it gets into hold down situations. It can be a bit of a menace for sure. But the complexion of this match has changed quite a bit. We went from assuming that
if W loses, it's another kick to WCI though.
Yeah, it's another kick them while they're down sort of moment. But we went, like me and you, we went from thinking this was like a totally, they would just not care about this match at all, being totally apathetic. We knew Cashback would be more invested. Mm-hmm. And then W went on this 3-0 run, and we were like, oh, okay, like greener pastures. And then
sometimes
the reverse sweep, you know.
Sometimes the grass really is greener on the other side.
And sometimes not. Well, it depends.
I mean, it's hard to tell when you're only looking through the window, right, Moff, at the grass of your neighbor. Like, is it really greener though, or is it the window?
That's a very good point. And here are predictions. I mean, we could still get a point.
Exactly. That's what I thought already. It's like, you know, we may be semi-right.
Yeah. We're so wrong that we're right, basically. And Baby, he's going to be kind of mad about that because, well, I mean, he could still get a point as well, but like, definitely not going to be profiting as much from this as he maybe initially thought.
Honestly, it could have and maybe should have been over on
Miro?
Miro, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think back to it, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of moments where HP was sort of bled unnecessarily, and you know, especially in competitive games, bleeding any sort of HP without being able to effectively trade it. It's never a pretty place to be.
So, we've come the whole way, Moff. We've played 6 rounds. Who do you think will take it?
Let's go with Cashback. No reason, just vibes.
You think Cashback wins it?
Yeah.
It's hard not to give it to them because of the momentum, right? Let's see if they can actually do it though. W, Triple BZ, Double I7, T57, and a 140.
Meanwhile, Cashback going with Can Opener, Double 57, Batchat, K91, Bliskowitzer, and Liberty in the RHM. I think this is recycled setup from them. Can Opener, the Double 57. Do you remember Little had a massive game in the K91? He did like 9k up against Hit and Run in one particular round, and Liberty once again is going for that outside strike in his RHM. It's cost him his life a number of times, but he still sees the value in taking it, and that's because the triple cap attempt is always a massive threat, and it's under pressure. Now Jakifer peeking round the corner, doing an HE reset on Liberty. He will not have that strike early on here. 20 seconds left on that cap.
18 seconds left now. Is it actually going to be capped quickly? I don't think so, no. Liberty's on their own time. I mean, he's taking the strike now, so he has plenty of time to actually put it. Vladislav already rolling back, a mini strike coming out as well because Little had it from the back line. Zaitok's boosting across, Aka waiting on that corner. That's a T57. Mindbreaker out of steam though, Aka facing the music, but sometimes you don't want to be the one close up because you get some hearing damage from that. Right now, the hearing damage he's going to get is from all the shells landing on his tank one by one as he goes down, faces the music, but not the kind of concert you would like to attend. Liberty now running away. We've seen that over and over for him. Mindbreaker did make it out, and Mentos kind of caught in no man's land with his IS-7. Mindbreaker says thank you very much as him, Liberty, and Little make short work of the IS-7. Caster Curse or the FC Curse Moth as he falls for pushing kind of by his lonesome, and now these W tanks dispersing, pushing left, right, and everywhere. Nepal not having much better luck in his IS-7 is having a tough one. Twilight in the meantime finds one more shot. Little with another kill in that K91. Drakieva finds the can opener, but when we look at what's left, it's 4 tanks from W, 5 tanks from Cashback, double the HP. They're making short work of this cap play all together, and they've won the first 3, but they're gonna end up losing the next 4 after winning the first 3, and it's another kick when you're already down as Cashback completes the full remontada.
They do complete the full reverse sweep, and it's very nicely done from Cashback with recycled strategy, the positions all being covered appropriately by each other. T57's heavies going down early on in the round. Liberty even going in for the ram, just donating a little bit of extra damage to Jakifer. But it is Cashback who do secure the win, and that will guarantee that they get 3rd place. Actually, they guaranteed it in the last battle already because they just needed the 1 point for tiebreaker. But they win the match nonetheless, and that will, at the very least, guarantee 3rd position. 2nd and 3rd place in the league should clarify. It doesn't matter because it's the same match in the playoffs, so whether you come 2nd or 3rd is inconsequential.
It's just a vibe to finish the regular season with, to win this match. They did that, and the way they did that is probably going to make them worried and happy at the same time. Yes, they lost the first 3 rounds. No, they shouldn't let that happen. But then, yes, they did recover.
Win is a win. On the positive side of things, it's better. I suppose it's better to go out on a high before the playoffs begin. Jakifer again coming top damage for his team. He's done that a number of times in this series, for whatever that's worth. But they'll be sent on their merry way to China with a losing record.
Yeah. They will lose their last official match before the WCI starts. They may have some trainings lined up, but, you know, it's luckily for them, they don't need to play relegations at least.
Yeah, and that is a change that came into the season. I think it was even during Season 2, or the end of Season 2, where the fifth place team, the pain and the suffering caused by not being able to get into the playoffs means that you still get locked into Season 5, which is a nice consolation.
It is indeed a nice consolation. We have 2 more matches for you though, but before that we're going to take a look at the highlights of the last match. Let's take away some replays.
nothing to say. Let's roll.
Well, hello there, and welcome back.
It's
And
funny,
as
if it's
can
not
see-
you, it's somebody else.
As you can see, the players are just about as ready as we are. I hope all of you are sat down to watch this match in between Weekend and Hit together with, well, I was going to show the Onslaught mug, but instead we are going to witness the two team logos that do look quite differently. And to be honest, the standings are different for both of those teams right now as well. Of course, this can be considered a training match as well. And to be honest, going into the playoffs, the team that we are seeing right now, they can certainly use it.
Yeah, I guess you got mugged, Kihand, with the fact that you couldn't show that.
Oh, got him.
You know how I know that the joke is terrible? I've explained this yesterday on the stream, actually. I said, if Kihan's laughing at the joke you made, you know it's terrible.
It's just, you know, as you get older, your sense of humor levels up, and then you find better things.
Man, your
funnier.
sense of humor flatlined 5 years ago.
True. Anyway, Franek, been a top performer for Hit, and to be honest, the damage average is impressive, 3.8k, but what's even more impressive is the KD, 3.4. I think he's up there in the OLS.
Yes, a lot of damage. Franek showing, you know, he might play with the little guns, but it's not about the damage it does, but what you do with it, right?
Absolutely. Technique matters, and he's shown this to absolute perfection. As we see the community prediction, quite brutal, to be honest. 14 for Weekend, 86 for Hit.
I don't know what to expect from this match.
I don't either. To be honest, like, Hit are a team that historically just doesn't like losing in tournaments, and whenever they're on a run, even if it doesn't really matter, or even thinking back to past WCI where, you know, tactically losing a match could actually give them the nominally easier bracket, they just don't like losing. They just give it their all. And so going into the map pick and bans, we see that Ensk, interestingly enough, has been selected by Weekend, who, you know, it's an interesting choice against Hit, who really like that map. Second one would be Pilsen, so we are definitely going to get 2 rounds on that one as well, being picked by Hit. Maybe they're not sure entirely how to play the map yet, want to figure it out a bit more. If we get to it, Westfield, map number 3. And should we go there, although it's maybe improbable, Siegfried line would be the tiebreaker.
If we get there. Like I said, I really don't know what to expect from this match. It could be both teams, they don't care. They just like playing, don't want to reveal anything, just want to chill and prepare for the playoffs. It could be about some honor. You never know, like the relationships between the teams, you know, like settling some grudges, you know, getting one up. Or it could be anything, you know, like first round will tell us like exactly what's happening.
Well, the thing is, for both teams, the vibe that they're going to be setting going into the playoffs is kind of the most important thing, right? Because you can go into the playoffs being like the top seeded or maybe second place, third place team, but if you just came off a devastating loss, and for the longest time it actually looked like it for Cashback, right? Then you're maybe the usual things that normally work just don't in the matches where it matters most, right? And those are the playoffs after all. So I think for Hit it's going to be mostly about, you know, playing together as a team, maybe not showing strats, but just, you know, practicing focus fire, practicing some executes, practicing communication, which is historically a thing that they are absolutely excelling at. And for Weekend, maybe it's just there to show that they can take it up with the absolute top dog, which is Hit. Currently, although Hit, I thought they were going for a little bit of an experimental strategy, and there it does reappear, but I think Franek's trolling. We do have singular BZ75. Yeah, Ketsai definitely is trolling. Triple E4, 140, Type 5, and double BZ.
Weekend though, Mouse, Quad Push B, a 268, and an E4.
Yeah, so Weekend, I think, I mean, it is a lineup that can work, but it is certainly not one that, you know, you would possibly bring to the most important of matchups. I mean, the 5 Force Bs, essentially, it is extremely powerful, right? That is 5 times 6 times 400. That is definitely a lot of damage, but as soon as they get spotted, the other team can obviously adjust.
Clownsick just holding at the back lines. His goal is more to anchor, force a push upon him, and if a push happens, then they cut in. But so far, all these Force Bs driving through the open, they all get spotted out. And if there was supposed to be some surprise, it will not happen. Clownsick taking 1.1k damage as well. And so far, Weekend is down 4k HP. Not sure what they were hoping for with these Force Bs, but the long route may have been the more superior route, not getting spotted in that case and pushing this out. Now they're kind of just playing around the cap, trying to last through there. Clownsick is going to die, apparently, by the look of things. He's just dead, getting flanked by Ketsai, while Franek has side turret shots, not allowing him to really poke back. Ketsai gives one. Franek, does he hit this? He probably will. Waiting for the side turret, good patience there, and it's going to be Franek even to finish it off. Coming in with the good shooting. The strike will hit home on 3. That's a lot of damage. But doesn't seem to be a little more. The cap gets blocked as well, which forces Language to peek. Thunder peeking as well, but Ketsai already in their own spawn, getting side shots. Tsek coming in, pushing past with the BZ. Interesting choice. Will die for this, you would imagine.
Well, Language on reload, so Tsek is going to survive for yet another shot of damage. Sunshine will be able to reduce it though, and Tsek, there is no one to finish him off. All the Force Bs are engaged, and I actually googled it. That is 12,000 clip potential in 5 Force Bs, but it has been reduced simply because the number of guns has been dropped. And yes, Evil and Hellrap are going to get the engage on towards the Type 5, but still it is a 5 versus 4 situation. There is a one-shot on the team of Hit, but Pansfury currently apparently no danger of dying as Barbarian, Ketsai and Franek engage on towards Language. Thunderhawk as well in that E4 very low. Franek though does end up getting blown up, and somehow the HPs are somewhat close, but Monster and Ketsai coming in with the double kill, leaving only Hellrap and Evil in those Force Bs to reload. Once again, Hellrap even using the booster to get away faster. Monster makes it around the corner, unable to get the shot though. Hellrap, he does heal up above 750, but it's not going to change anything as Hit take the first round.
Yeah, it looked close from far, but far from close at the end of the day. I mean, still plenty of tanks left on the Hitman side. Evil picking some more off together with Hellrap. Strike coming out. Monster trying to run away. It's not going to happen. If he wants to get recruited by the Chinese super team next, he's going to have to face off a little bit more, you know, not run away from his opponents. You know, there's so much material to talk about at WCI, though. It's going to be funny.
I mean, it's certainly going to be long streams, but I feel like we are going to have a lot of content to talk about, you know.
You need to bring like a whiteboard and then like start like pulling the strings, like D13, Frugo, Chinese super team, baby question mark, wargaming involvement question mark, shady business question mark.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can ask the guys over in China for a whiteboard. Maybe we're going to fill that one. First of all, we're going to fill ourselves in, though, about the scoreboard, and we do see that some of the Force Bs had a good round, but I think a lot of the damage was already done when it didn't realistically matter anymore, because Clownsick holding the own spawn with the mouse, completely separated from everyone else, just not able to do anything, because, yeah, the mouse is a great tank and everything, but just like the Type 5, if there is a tank with a lower profile, say a BZ75, or even better, like a 140, 430U beside it, then the mouse it just doesn't stand a chance, right? Because you have to go for those cupola shots with the tank besides you, side-hugging, or even behind you, continuously moving back and forward. So certainly not a fun game for Clownsick here. And this means that Hit, the confirmed first of the regular season, are going to lock in the first point on the board on Weekend's pick nonetheless.
Good start there for Hit. Didn't look as clean as it could be. Few mistakes were made, but still far in control though the whole time. I don't that Forsbeek trap coming through the city, all getting spotted out, I think was the death of that round.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Weekend kind of using a throwaway strategy, I think really is what that one was. Whenever you pick like 5 Forsbees on Ensk, it's not really something that reveals anything, if you know what I mean. It's one of those strategies that you come up with. It's like, we don't want to show what we are going to use in the playoffs. Let's just, use a 50-50. And I think that's what that one was. And for Hit, I think they're just playing box standard, just want to see how it's going to measure up against a team like Weekend. And, well, so far, so good.
Can they convert this into a second round event, though? That's a good question.
I mean, was it season 1 or 2 where Hit also was playing a match on Ensk that didn't really end up mattering anymore, and they brought triple Fosh 155 and it failed terribly? I remember the round, but I don't remember when it was. I think it might have even been.
I'm pretty sure we even saw a Nate team use Fosh 155s.
But they might do so unironically, Well, I mean, Hit's lineup, once again, it looks very much business in the front and the back here. A singular BZ75 together with a Type 5 heavier Foshby and quadruple E4. Once again, that is extremely standard.
Weekend, Mouse, Center 5A, triple type, 140, E4. No real shenanigans this time around either.
Switching it up a little bit, the 705A disappearing for the IS-4. The 705A, I mean, it doesn't see a lot of use, but Ensk is actually one of those maps where it can be useful just because of the low profile, and it can kind of, hug the train cards and sort of play hold down there, but not really in the meta as of now, as Ketsai boosts in with that BZ75, sees the mouse, but so far no damage taken by Iset, who's also serving as a little bit of a shield for Thunderhawk, who's also spotted in his Type 5. Now, however, the damage starting to mount on towards the mouse, who already took 1400.
Iset still marching down that second rail, though. Sunshine taking the strike in the city, while Clownzik it's actually the one to take it in the city. They're still marching down the rails with the Type 5 with the mouse as well. Where does the march stop? Do they converge onto something? They're going for Franek and Monster now, who are on those rails positions. Panzer Fury and Barbarian now relocating to cover this. There is the double strike though, which might end up doing a lot of damage if they can successfully find a good target for it.
It feels like Weekend is trying to buy time with those sponges, with those meatballs of the Type 5s. And the mouse, who now has fallen back to be covered by the Type 5 himself. Still HP advantage for Weekend, but obviously the damage done by hit and run with those E4s is absolutely brutal. You can just see those APCR shells flying in towards the super heavies time and time again, and T-Sec with the Type 5 heavy of his own obviously does the same thing. The first strike does go down and it connects on towards 2 tanks. No damage reduction available by Monster, as the 140 actually by Weekend has flanked around, but this only prompts Ketsai in towards a repush. And Sunshine has to run Ketsai, taking his sweet time to aim it, but just so the shot flies through, and Monster comes in with the first kill as well. Hit and run once again. They look a little bit shocked by this push through the middle, but then composure, readjustment, and striking back.
Barbarian will not heal enough to survive Hellrap's shot, but nonetheless his teammates seem to be picking up the pieces behind him. DJ looking out towards Hellrap, aiming at getting around a little bit, but Clownzik makes that shot all the more annoying because it's resetting the aim. He takes his time and he finds the kill. Now transitioning back into the 1v1 against Clownzik. Well, 1v1. Panther Fury is right there to help him out, and there seems to be a Type 5 from behind helping out Clownzik as well. It's close, but again, not that close as hit and run. They have the right tanks to deal with this kind of heavy presence. Those E4s do not struggle with anything on the lineup that Weekend is bringing. The damage reduction and that gun, a pretty good counter for those super heavies. Weekend, they tried, but with no success. Ensk remains hit and run's domain with a 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah, this round feeling a little bit like an arm wrestling match where hit and run, just with a better training, more muscles available, better technique, able to take victory. So Hit and Run on weekend's map pick events are, I think it's fair to say they're going to easily take both rounds here, making it 2-0. So the first place of the regular season, just only reconfirming what we already know, that they're a damn good team.
I think Moff told me, I don't know how true it is, if Hit and Run win this, they have the best regular season out of any team so far.
That would be quite the statement, to be honest, considering how, how dominating Cashback was perceived during seasons 1 and 2, right? It was the kind of story. Yeah, in season 2, of course, the playoffs, W had the miracle run. We already know that's not going to happen during this season's playoffs, but...
I mean, they might have a miracle run in China. It would really be a miracle run.
Oh man, Ducky, you really have fun kicking someone when he's down, right?
Yeah, because he can't really kick back then, you know? It's just like throwing his legs in the air. It's like pedaling in the water. And stop it.
But yeah, what we just saw was essentially that E4 is pretty good against super heavies, right? Who would have thought?
Unbelievable, no? Forge B not that great though. Barbarian not in the greatest of positions this time around.
No. Then again, I mean, the E4 is just going through that armor of the Type 5s and the mouse. And the IS-4, to be honest. Personally, I consider the IS-4 to be kind of a super heavy.
What you consider it as, Kihan, is of no concern. It's not a super heavy.
Well, it is... Let me live in my dreams, okay? But yeah, the dreams of Hit and Run to make this match a 4-0 so far remain alive. As Ensk, well, Weekend didn't really hold a candle towards what Hit was doing. And in my opinion, Hit wasn't really doing anything special. They were just reacting well, playing together, and shutting down Weekend wherever they found them. Pilsen is a different kind of matter. I don't think we're going to see 5 Forge Bs. I don't think we're going to see this many super heavies either from Weekend.
Stranger things have happened though. Think about it this way. You know, a new strategy on Pilsen. You take 7 super heavies, you reverse from the spawn, the light planes 0, you drive onto the cap, GG.
Mm-hmm. And what happens to all
there is no
objectives?
There is no ifs in this equation.
Right. Okay. Uh-huh.
There's only do or don't.
I didn't know that beside being, a full-time successful Twitch streamer, you also are such a deep philosopher, Ducky.
Yeah, well, we're both deep into something, Kian. You into the KFC, me into the philosophy.
I actually, in my life, I have only been to KFC in China. I still don't know what KFC is like in Europe or North America.
Barbarian.
Make of that what you will.
Unbelievable. How would you rate the Chinese KFC? May I add that you're going to China in 2 weeks?
It was okay, I guess. It was like normal fast food.
The best thing ever. You guys, I should have vlogged, but going to China with Kihan is the greatest thing ever. You go with the whitest of white people. You know, he has the spice tolerance of a 6-year-old. The only person that I know has spice tolerance worse than Kihan is Rishek. And Kihan huffing and puffing at the hot pot. But Rishek, even worse, Kihan. We went to the hot pot together, right? And we had the white hot pot, so for the Westerners, and then the hot pot for the people that had some spice tolerance. And I was talking to Rishek, and he's like, at some point he goes like, Daki, can you stop breathing my way? I can taste the spice. It's like, it's getting too much already.
What can I say? I really don't like spicy food, actually.
So disappointing.
It's just not my taste. And then I hear people talking about different kinds of spice, oh yeah, this one tastes different. No, it's all spicy. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, Hit and Run. Ketsai, I think he's trolling again. It would be a spicy lineup, come to talk about it. But yeah, Hit and Run currently triple BZ75, a Type 5, a Stage 2. That one might change together with double Forge B.
It's Ketsai.
Oh my
Weekend,
God.
60p, double BZ, E5, 140, 268 V4, and E4. If there's anybody that could see pick the FE, it's Ketsai. That's why I don't think he's changing.
He was trolling in the first game. That's why I was second-guessing myself a little bit. No, but no, he's actually sticking it. And to be honest, that weekend lineup is also a little bit uncompetitive.
Doesn't have a light.
Both teams don't have a light, for that matter.
Better for the
like,
FV, though, you know?
Very good for the FV. But let's see. The
Never
double
mind.
push B not spotted here. Ketzai, the first one to be seen by the opposing lineup as Pan's Fury, T-Sec, and the third BZ-75 immediately boosting towards the cap. Hellrap is going to try to go for the artillery strike. I don't think there's anyone that can reset him at this point in time, so he should be able to get it rather uncontested. Thunderhawk taking a shot on the way out. But what is that stage 2 doing is the question. Not a lot, if you ask me.
Franek now backing off. Panda Fury, T-Sec, DJ, Monster, they're all going for Clownsec. He needs to be careful on that 60p. I think he will make it back on time as well if he decides to roll backwards. And now, yeah, now you're stuck with an EV.
Franek also taking another good shot by Trash Panda as Evil in that DPM machine that is the Type 5 is just waiting for those BZs to peak. E5 also not having seen a lot of use actually during the OLS so far at least, so it's nice to see that tank making an appearance. It is obviously completely able to deal devastating amounts of damage. Clownsing taking a shot in the cap as well is going to back off for now. ISAT in the V4 tagging Barbarian on the way across, so Weekend are well and truly aware that Hit and Run have taken complete control over the western part of the map. The BZ is starting to make a move now, activating the boosters. This means that only 2 of them are going to get tagged by the artillery strike, and Evil, his gun is not going to be cooling this round.
Weekend currently up 5,000 HP. T-Sec is actually on fire, a rare occurrence, but not an occurrence that cannot happen. The dreams here from Hit and Run, trolling aside, being crushed. The double BZ dead already. The third one kind of in the middle of nowhere, and Weekend will tank Hit and Run for this simplistic cap strategy with the FV. Yeah, not that effective.
No, it just wasn't it, coach, is what Hit are going to be saying after this round. Whatever they had planned, it ends up completely getting face-checked, end up getting countered by the side of Weekend. So they are not going to go out of this match without a round, which is good for them. And now Barbarian, the only one alive for Hit and Run, is maybe able to pad the stats a little bit more. Maybe he wants to go for a kill because, you know, going out of a game without any kills ends up looking kind of silly. He might be able to. Goes down towards 1 shot. Let's see. He has 4 shots still remaining. But no, Evil to shut it down, and Hit and Run lose on their own map pick, at least the first round.
Yeah. Let's say that was a throwaway round.
Yeah, I think Hit were trying to have fun.
I always think winning is more fun, but...
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't think Ketzai is picking another FV this match, at least.
We're talking about Ketzai here.
Well, I mean, the damage... It wasn't only the FV's fault, to put it that way. I don't think Monster's OLS DPG is going to be happy about that one. 1 shot only, and I think that just underlines, like, there's only 3 tanks on the Hit lineup that have 2,000 or more damage, and that just means that the tactic they went with just absolutely didn't work.
No. I had good damage spread across the board, right? Yeah, this is really a throwaway round. It's so hard to push off of that cap. Especially because you're spotted through every angle, through every gap. You're taking damage, you're getting shot, they're backing off, you have to go around the corner. It's just a really hard push to make.
Alright, and so Weekend, with picking up the first round, they want to double it up, they want to make the score even. Whereas for Hit, I mean, they tried something, they wanted to play unconventional, but I think they should at least go back to what has been working for them, which was just, you know, play standard, just practice your skills, hone them for the weekend when it actually really is going to matter a lot. And for Weekend, I mean, the positive thing to take away is that, you know, the skill difference between Hit and Weekend is not so big that they cannot just shut down Hit if they want to try and do something admittedly a little bit stupid.
Yeah, but it wasn't the AV that lost the game, though. You know, if you're thinking about it like that way, if they adjusted the strategy to play an AV, okay, maybe, but they were going to play this anyways. They could have added another BZ. They were not winning that game.
The other thing to talk about for Hit is that I think Decha, who was rotated into the team at the start of the season, I think he played on like day 1 and 2. He hasn't played since. What do you make of that?
I don't know. If he's meant to play in China, then I think this would be a good warm-up for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, little inside info I can give to you is that Decha is sitting in the training room. Actually, both reserve players for both teams are attending, which is somewhat of a rare occurrence. But I guess everyone kept this spot free in their calendar just in case it would be needed. But of course, Hit with such a dominating performance throughout both phases so far that, yeah, their spot number 1 for the current season is locked in for the playoffs. And with that, of course, they skip around in the upper bracket. It is not something that is to be underestimated. Hit a little more business this time around, although if the lineup doesn't change, it still does. Hit bringing an E100, a Type 5, 2 of them actually, together with a 430 and triple Foshby.
We can still make a few changes, but seems fine on now. 60p, T57, BAT 140, Foshby, double to 684, a lot lighter.
A lot lighter, and to be honest, I like Hit and Run's lineup a lot against what Weekend has, because those Foshbys, they basically force the V4s into not using ability. Otherwise, they would get permatracked.
In that case, may as well play double to sack, you know?
Yeah, okay. Opening-wise, we see both teams sending something towards the middle. I'm never a big fan of actually sending the 140 there, not only for the reason that we see demonstrated here, but it's also such a squishy tank that if it ends up getting repushed, it dies rather quickly. But Thunderhawk nonetheless is going to make it on towards the artillery strike, not without paying a tremendous amount of damage towards Hit. DJ, though, taking a bit of retaliation here as well, and Weekend pick up more neutral objectives. That is 2 strikes for 1.
Yeah, but that 140 being low HP, the bat shot is stuck though. We've seen Liberty die for this. Panzer Fury is crossing over. Barbarian not doing the right thing, which is normally to sit with 1 on the left, but I don't think it's going to matter nonetheless. Panzer Fury is just chasing him down like a wild dog, running it down altogether, and it doesn't even matter that they don't do it perfectly with 1 Foshby from the left like we've seen against Cashback. They're still going to find that bad shot for free, and teams keep going for the D1 strike, Ihan, and it keeps costing them.
Yeah, exactly. That double Foshby repush is enough to just about take down anything, as Monster finds Hellrap from behind here. Ketsai as well without 430 Mount. Barbarian, Franic and Pansfury should be making short work of Trash Panda. Damage reduction not coming in for that 268v4 anymore. Ketsai should be easily able to win the 1v1 against Hellrap with the 430, as well as Monster finally doing his full clip. He's going to heal a lot of the damage that he just took back as well. And Hit, I mean, it is almost even in the HP department, but Weekend, they're just trailing in guns. They're about to lose Hellrap to Ketsai as well, so it's a 7-on-4.
I mean, I said now, we've seen him in this situation before, you know, like towards the end of the game, having to play a V4 and then repushing, and V4 can be a very annoying time because of that, Aimo. When you're left in this scenario, it's like, okay, now even he cannot turn his gun towards Monster because he's being pushed into the hill, and as a result it's going to be hit and run to take match point in a fairly simple Pilsen round. As long as teams keep going E1 with a tank that keeps dying for free, they're gonna lose every single one of these games.
Yeah, Hit, I mean, they ended up kind of getting shut down in the second Pilsen game, but here, sorry, in the first one, but here in the second, they find the perfect answer to not only losing a round, but also to what Weekend was doing. So it's going to be 3-1 for a Hit, not a 2-2. And yeah, I mean, Hit once again, I think that was nothing special from them. That was very, very standard, very controlled. There was nothing exceptional coming from them, but it seems to be enough against the likes of Weekend.
You get a bat for free at E1, you play with a light composition behind it, you have no recovery point at all. At that given time, once the bat dies, you don't have the lineup to recover anyways. You don't have anything like extremely potent at doing damage, you know, no E50Ms, no first Bs, you have a bunch of single shooters, you have one T57. You do not get back into this battle.
And taking a look at the tanks of Hit, there is one of them, I guess, that cannot heal back. All the other tanks of Hit either have individual or group heals going on for them. And then, of course, what you talked about with the Weekend lineup becomes an issue. You're not able to do a lot of damage quickly. You're not able to burst down the super heavies. You're not able to burst down the Force Bs. And so Hit just winning on composition here and opening as well, especially since they were able to tag the 140, which is one of the tanks that in theory, of course, could be rotating, but it ended up getting committed right from the get-go. And yeah, he did some damage on, from there, Thunder's Hawk that is, but Hit just responding perfectly to what Weekend was doing. But that is Pilsen done. And we are going to go towards Westfield, where I feel like the style of playing outside has been shut down a little bit this season. Teams finding a lot more success with just plain good old cap strategies.
Yeah, it's indeed so far so good. But on Westfield, a good old brawl. We haven't really seen any proper brawls, I think.
Not really, right? What we have seen a lot this season, regardless, especially in the recent matches, is teams picking Badgers again. I think the tank has seen kind of a resurgence, but in my personal opinion, it's kind of a bait as well, because a lot of teams have figured out how to play against that. Just boost up and over with the BZs and delete one of the Badgers immediately.
Not a fan of the Badger in general.
It was very cool when there was still the reload reduction for the Juggernaut TDs, right?
Sadly, we didn't change that because we thought that the reload reduction was bad, right? We changed that because of the sack.
I mean, imagine.
It would be, honestly, I think we should have left it for a day just to see what it does, you know, for the memes.
Hit certainly not planning to play with a lot of memes here. That is quadruple BZ, CS 140 and Bluskavitsa, but no light.
We can in return 6 BZs and at the sack.
Just reconsidering, that lineup is very straightforward. It is 7 BZs, so no Tisak anymore. To be honest, there is only a single Juggernaut to be tracked in the opposing team. So Weekend, I'm not sure I like it. I would prefer 1 BZ switching to a 140, but this is now what they are stuck with in potentially their last game of Phase 2 of the AMD OLS Season 4. All 7 of them driving towards the middle, both teams playing blind, of course, since there are no light tank. The second set of boosters gets activated, and let's see how Hit and Run respond to this absolute blunt force approach as Monster, the first one to take damage here, minus 2,000. The first salvo of those BZs certainly finds the mark. Are they able to delete tanks now? That's the question.
The focus wasn't really there from Weekend, though. They went for 2 BZs at the same time. They went for Monster and T-Sec, and both of them are currently trying to hide and cower behind their teammates as the Bluskavitsa Barbarian is now to take some damage, but that's ideal, has damage reduction as well. And now Hit and Run is trying to do the damage, but they're still behind. They need to keep the guns alive. They need to have Franek and Katsai having the game of their life almost to farm out, because at 140, but it's low alpha, needs a long time to put out the damage, but they might actually find the first kill. Evil Thunder both very low, getting healed back up. Monster still alive as well. T-Sec is actually the one to find the first kill, and Katsai the second. All of the sudden, Weekend with a little bit of lackluster focus fire is not able to get what they need. Barbarian going for the ram against Trash Panda. If nothing else, it will make him a one-shot. Trash Panda will find the kill, but that is a good round for Barbarian, maximizing his damage. Panzer Fury wants to get the kill against Clownsec, but it's best to do your alpha at that point. Ketsai has him nonetheless. I think he realized that now as well, and Hellrap going for Franek, who's playing Ring Around the Rosie, but I said it's looking rather bad here for the side of Weekend, as Panzer Fury will finish off I said before he heals the dodge from Franek as well. And this is an example of what happens when the focus fire is just not there.
Yeah, no. I think the focus fire was exactly the issue for Weekend. If they managed to delete one tank with the first salvo, second tank with the second salvo, they win the game. But like this, they give the medium tanks time to play. There were so many low HPs for hit and run alive for such a long time that, you know, you have to wonder what the calls were. Because if you're playing 7 BZs, yes, one of them, maybe 2 are going to take the damage, but you can kind of go back and retreat with those ones. But
it's
the
just
rest,
a focus fire issue.
Yeah, the rest just, you know, press X, boost by, and you can shield tanks, sure, from 1, maybe 2 directions, but not from a 360-degree angle. So
the first volley is the bigger issue there, and even the second volley after. So the first volley, both Monster and T-Sec dropped to like 1k HP. I think it's down to the fact that both Monster and T-Sec are kind of in an open position where a lot of people have good shots, but they're on the left and the right, and there's no clear call to all shoot the same one, even over peak, as you say, kind of keep boosting and kill one of them, right? Make sure that T-Sec doesn't escape. Maybe even drop him towards a one-shot. Like, honestly, if the call is better there, and they all focus the same target, T-Sec is either a one-shot or dead, then you can indeed deadball. You just keep pushing in, you keep the low HP alive, you kill T-Sec, and you keep snowballing. These mediums don't end up doing bolts around the 6k marker, because you will be fighting from the low ground into the tanks then, and the mediums are going to have really hard shots. Now, T-Sec escapes, gets behind, Monster escapes, gets behind, they get shielded, they then start shooting the Blitzkowitze, which is the second mistake, to be honest. At that point, you're forced to deadball, which means you have to push into them, you have to kill the 2 low HP guys, and then work off the gun advantage, which you should have generated at that point, based off the initial damage, but they didn't neither of those things. They didn't kill something in the beginning, which they could have, and they didn't deadball after, which they could have as well. The strat and the power of the BZ is, you know, that deadball.
And the thing as well is that they stayed basically on top the entire time that the match was going on. The CS and the 140 had permanent shots. They were the top damage dealers actually for the team of Hit. Yeah, and that is another mistake that they made.
That's right? The third issue, I think.
If you push up and over, you just essentially remove the medium tanks from the game. You remove their DPM. So you're playing then...
I think you ignore them altogether. Like, at some point you saw people peeling off towards the 140. I mean, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. All right, but at least if we're able to find those issues this quickly, it should be quite obvious to the players as well, and maybe something to be fixed for the playoffs. But for now, that was enough from the 2 of us, as Hit are going to take their last match in the regular season. And as Moff said, they now have the best track record of all regular season. Congratulations to them. They need to reconfirm this performance on Saturday and Sunday. But for now, let's head towards some replays.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to what will be not only the last match of the stream, but also the last match of the regular season of the AMD OLS Season 4, and it's going to be played between Mafia and Yogurt. And whereas Mafia have certainly shown up this season, reconfirming their performance as well during the OLC, where they managed to win it all and will fly to China later this year as the European first seed. For Yogurt, it has not gone so well. They keep being this team that essentially seems locked in towards those spots 5 and 6.
Yeah, it seems like they've become the new dark side, right? The new Solyanka. That's 2 seasons back to back where they just find themselves in 6th place, I think, and it could be worse. You could be getting relegated, getting eliminated. It's not ideal for them. Unfortunately, for the guys from Yogurt, they will have to play the relegation match, which is up against I believe it's Lotus, right? The team that lost the OCS playoffs. So they'll have that to prepare for, and I guess your mindset going into that could be that this is your last opportunity to have an official match against tier 1 opposition. Try and prepare yourself as best as possible for that next most important game.
Yeah, and for Mafia, it's once again just like Hit, a match that is supposed to set the vibe here for the playoffs. I mean, their opponents for them are, of course, clear already. The first match on Saturday that we are going to see is Mafia and Cashback that are going to duke it out in the upper bracket semi-final of the playoffs. First of all, though, Kono, 3.5k DPG and a 1.7 KD. He mostly plays E50M and 140, but the pen rate is actually the impressive thing. Most players in the OLS currently are not able to really break that 90%. And even for Kono, it was me adding those stats earlier from the sheet. He has like 89 point something, but mathematically it rounds to 90%.
Well, you just had to take that away from him, poor guy. It just says perfect 90%. It's interesting that his DPG is that good as well, because he's normally playing an EBR, like on a number of occasions. So, and I think he's normally it's YOLO that's the light time. It's Kono and YOLO. It's very, very easy to get confused, but not as confusing as YOLO against YOLO, which is always an iconic matchup in OLS.
Aren't they both sometimes playing light as well?
Yeah, I think they are actually both the light tank players. So it is literally Spider-Man pointing at each other meme. But the predictions from the community are pointing in one direction, and that is all the way towards Mafia, 93%.
Absolutely. That blue bar, if you measure it, it's kind of long.
Yeah, and I don't really personally give Yogurt much of a chance. I think their only opportunity to win here is that Mafia don't care, so maybe they can, but the irony is that it matters just as little to Yogurt as it does to Mafia. So like the last game there was some shenanigans going on, some FVs being picked, some goofball strategies, E5s, 5 Fosh Bs and stuff like that. That's entirely possible. We could see more of the same here.
I mean, let's see. First map is Himmelsdorf, and it is not the most, but a rather recent addition to the pool. And I think there is potential, especially since Himmelsdorf has like so many houses and corners to peek around, like hard vision blockers, that you're able to pull off a lot of surprises on that map, with obviously the attention for teams mostly focused around the cap right now. Second map is Pilsen. I think that one also offers the possibility of toying around with different kinds of setups. And then Muravanka, fairly settled meta at this point, I would say. Fairly quick map most of the time. We just have to have
basically your T's crossed, your I's dotted, etc. You just need to play well on Moravanka, and the communication between players, like who is able to shoot whom, is a crucial factor here. And then if it goes to it, which I do not believe, but of course there is always the possibility, then Cliff would be the tiebreaker.
I think you just described the entire competitive nature of water tanks. If you got to focus fire, you got to shoot all targets, position well, communication, saving HP, focus fire, all of that good stuff. Very important.
Well, let's see which one of those two teams is gonna do it better. Also, I want to maybe rub a little bit of salt in Ducky's wounds, because actually I missed it, but I got my prediction correct last match. Let's see.
I did too,
about
actually.
This one as well.
I did too, actually.
Let's see.
Maybe we're just better at predicting when there's absolutely no stakes in the game.
Well, predictions, talking about it. Well, this time around, I actually disagree with all of you. I'm saying Yogurt will be able to take the one consolation round, whereas, well, Ducky, you and also...
Evidently you strongly disagree with a one-round difference.
Yeah.
The complete opposite.
I beg to differ, okay? I beg to differ here. Let's see, though. Both of the teams are getting ready, and let's see if those goofball strategies that you mentioned are actually going to come in. Yogurt's lineup, though, very businesslike. Double BZ, Nice 4, double 140. Let's see if that changes together with double Bliskovica and indeed Aphrodite taking the Hurricane.
Yeah, it seems like a no bullshit kind of lineup. That same cannot be said for Mafia, though. Orzhek is bringing a Grill 15 to Himmelsdorf.
Well, for the shortest time, there was also a grill picked by Invo, but I think it's just the players having fun a little bit, because now the game is going to start. The lineups are final and locked in. Let's see if the players are as well, as Aphrodite, unsurprisingly, is going to make his way to the hill. And the rest of the Yogurt lineup is driving towards the middle, with the IS-4 being split towards the 3 line. On the other hand, we see the Griller plus the CS as a screen being sent towards the hill from Mafia. So let's see how many 1k pluses are going to connect.
Yeah, it's so important for Mafia to deny any of the info towers being taken. They do not want the Griller to be known about until it is too late for Yogurt to do anything about it, which is why Yuzek is playing hold down on towards the cap, which means that he can stop Humble from taking the one on the bottom side. That it's being taken on the north, though. Aphrodite, Kono does get the reset. That is critical from Kono to stop that from coming into effect. And Aphrodite's actually bailing from the hill. He doesn't realize that it was just a 1v1. He could have actually fought that one out. Now Ramadek is pushing into towards Yuzek. They're speeding up the pace. This is not what Mafia need. They need the time to allow the Griller to get into the game. Yuzek is being pushed up against the wall. He's trying to escape, but he's taking fire from all kinds of different directions, and might just do one more shot. No, he doesn't. Imreal picks it up. Ramadek sacrifices his life for the good of the team. I'm not sure that was entirely worth it. Can we keep an eye on Orzhek now, though, and see if he actually has shots on anything?
Well, first of all, Kono snipes down from the hill on the overlook, and that is a problem for Yogurt. They're kind of stuck in that 6, 7, 8 line area of the map, and they're trying to evacuate it. We see Liquor, Invo, and Aphrodite, all of them pouring in towards the Mafia spawn. Orzhek, in the meanwhile, hasn't found any crazy shots as of yet. He is on level 3 ability, though, as Liquor and Invo, Little Hit Squad and Invo taking a shot from the hill, are going to move towards the E100. But of course, Conrad is a formidable force to be reckoned with in that German Super Heavy. He can just trade it out, especially if there is a T57 and an E4 in support behind them, as YOLO ends up trading with Liquor here. Humble taking another shot. And the problem that Yogurt face here is that they don't really want to push an E100 in close quarters when you have that kind of firepower supporting from behind.
Yeah, Comrade's kind of like a no-entry sign right now. It's like, you will not be allowed to come through this tiny little alleyway, as Imreal has managed to find a way past in his Bliskovica, but it's so restricted in this small pocket. Everyone's trying to fight for this little piece of land on the map, as Imreal trying to pivot in his Bliskovica with his turretless tank destroyer, trying to turn to farm Comrade, but they're just bleeding so much health to find these kills, and they're not even going to get them. They will find the kill on towards Rexar and his T57 Heavy. At the moment, Mafia, a lot of HP is on Orzhek on the hill, who comes in with the Ram. Orzhek aggro frontline tank destroyer gameplay right there.
Yeah, that is a juggernaut TD if I've ever seen one to come into the game. And Conrad still alive in that E100, even shielding YOLO. His teammate goes down towards one shot though, and now the door is shut, and it is indeed the dead E100 that guards it. Now though, there is only 2 tanks remaining. Make that one from the Yogurt lineup, and Mafia. It is a brutal fist fight, even with a gorilla involved in close quarters, but the better end of game 1 for the Polish team.
Yeah, Olżyk, I wouldn't say that he had the highest impact in the way that he would have wanted, but he got a few highlight rams at the end of that battle. Ultimately, though, I think Yogurt, they just, because they didn't know what was going on, they wanted to go for a mid-crunch in the beginning, and then that wasn't really on. They didn't know exactly where Mafia were hanging out. Aphrodite bails from the hill, because he didn't know what else was going to be up there. And, I mean, in the end, the Gorilla does 3.4. I think he did only 1 shot from the top of the hill, if I'm not mistaken. Profuse, great pen rate. K91 did a lot of damage, and they just were able to stall it out long enough. They're able to farm off of Yuzek.
I mean, Olżyk only 3.4, and remember the kill wasn't even from a shot. So I don't think the shots that he dealt were damage boosted, like, considerably.
I think you get, I can't remember what level it is, but I think you do get a charge at the start of the game, and I think he hit 1 shot from the top of the hill.
Yeah. So if we're going to nitpick anything, maybe it is the 3.4 damage, K damage result by the Gorilla, but at the end of the day, the team wins. So what does he care? But it shows that Mafia is willing to go in towards the deep end of the strategies that maybe they have cooked up, but are not willing to use during the playoffs, right? They're just, having a vibe kind of match. And for Yogurt, I mean, this is a little bit of a problem because, well, if they're going up against unusual strategies that maybe, like, there is no possibility to train against everything that you can do in Onslaught, right? But it shows that they're a team that is unable to adapt on the fly, maybe. And that, of course, could be a potential weakness that could be exploited by Lotus down the line in the relegation match.
How do you adapt to a Gorilla on Himmelsdorf, though? That's the question. There's no way that you can be anticipating that. And I think you're right, though, that this, like, playing a Gorilla on Himmelsdorf for Mafia, it is possible that it was just, like, some crazy brain idea that they came up with, and it's just one of those, like, throwaway strategies that they came up with but never actually thought was good enough to use in an important match. But I mean, you might as well just use it now.
And if it ends up working like it just did, who is going to fault them? Yeah, good stuff from Mafia. You like seeing it. I also personally like seeing the teams having a little bit of fun with the lineups. It shows that, you can be all business and, like, completely be a slave to the meta, but at the end of the day, Onslaught is supposed to be sometimes at least a fun game mode when you're not on a lose streak, that is. So let's see if they continue with it.
Yeah, as long as you get that green number, session goes up, that's all that matters. That's the most important thing. Winning makes you feel happy. Until you realize that it doesn't matter. Anyway, Mafia, I mean, they're doing what you wanted, Key. You said the 7 BZs, you wanted just the 140, just that little bit of Inspire, the DPM boost. They're doing it.
Yogurt currently switching around their tanks a little bit. I'm not going to call it out until it is final, which kind of seems to be the case now. Quadruple BZ75 together with a 140 and double Bliskavitsa. To be honest, I think I favor Yogurt's lineup here simply because they have the damage reduction plus the DPM coming in against the raw BZ power from Mafia.
Yeah, the damage reduction versus HP, like, it's kind of one and the same, to be honest. I mean, the Bliskavitzas get the better damage, of course, as well. Yogurt going towards the middle heavily. Mafia also heavily going towards the middle, but Yogurt have a bit more crossfire, I think, with the double BZ. Mafia, what do they want to do? Do they want to go in? Olżyk takes a couple of shots of damage already early on. Comrade committing. Immoreal taking damage as well on the outside. Everyone is in a bit of a crossfire.
That goes both ways, though, as Liquor in that Bliskavitza is going to just be able to lord over them from the window with that Bliskavitza. Remember, the BZ also not with the best penetration on its heat, so I don't think he can really be countered in there. Conrad doesn't have a red kit available at this point in time as Shelby Walk fluffs that one in the Bliskavitza. Damage reduction, though, good timing on the ability as Humble peaks to maybe do a shot, but he takes one in return, drops to like 1100. Needs to be careful at this point in time. Liquor getting called into the fray. Humble down towards a possible one-shot here, and I think Yogurt realized that they're up against the ropes. They need to make something happen. They need to get kills here. Orzhek dropping pretty low. When are the heals going to come in for those tanks? Is the question as Liquor picks up the strike, but Rachmedik falls to his death.
Yeah, they need to be careful with the heal usage. They need to not stack them at the same time because it doesn't stack. It's not effective to use it in such a way. But so far, Mafia have kept all of the guns alive, and we're almost trying to get rammed there by Rexar, who still manages to find the kill anyway. That's a good job by him, and they do manage to find the first 2 kills in the round here as Yuzek is just trading off around the outside. Look at the positions for Yogurt. They're all stuck inside the Zeppelin. They've got the seats booked here, but I mean, the strikes come in. They're all grouped up together. Liquor is going to fall. Shelby takes a lot of damage, albeit with damage reduction ability now peeking out. The Yogurt guns, can they focus the fire? It's still very close between both of these teams here. Just a sliver of health for pretty much everyone remaining here. Shelby's just about the only person who's not actually a one-shot right now. Aphrodite and Profuse are both locked into windows in their 140s, just trying to support the rest of their team in the courtyard. Comrade does not manage to find the kill on Kvik. Still just has enough HP. Rexar finds an important kill, and now it's 4v2. Still no HP remaining for anyone.
No HP, but I think Kvik doesn't have the DPM as he puts one into Rexar, but that means he's unable to fend off the remainder of the Mafia team going down towards him. Rexar boosting up, boosting over, gets shut down by Aphrodite. But of course, Orzhek is not a one-shot. 365. Normally, you don't roll these. X marks the spot. Once again, he's coming in, and with Aphrodite rolling exactly average, Mafia are going to wrestle the second Himmelsdorf round away from Yogurt as well.
That would have been pretty funny if they were all one-shots and they just went in one by one at the end there, but there was just too many angles for Aphrodite to cover, because you saw he was kind of ignoring the BZ, but he has to, because if he looks away from the 140, it's a game of peekaboo, right? Like, whichever person you don't look at, that's the person that's going to peek.
Yeah, of course, and they are going to be communicating. Someone's going to be zoomed out and going to be calling where he's looking. So at that point, it's an unwinnable situation for Aphrodite that, regardless, did 5,200 damage. But yeah, the damage spread also okay on the Yogurt lineup. I think it is those tiny little differences in between player skill and communication that just set Mafia apart in this round. It was just that teeny tiny little bit better from Mafia.
I think the fact that Yogurt ended up getting all stuck in one square really didn't help them out that much, because it meant that, you know, even though the HP and the guns was relatively even, it just really limits your options when you're all stuck in one square.
And I think that is kind of the experience that comes with playing together for so long. You just subconsciously, I guess, you realize, hey, is this a situation where we should bunch up, or is this actually a situation where we should spread out a bit to create the crossfires? So Mafia taking 2 rounds on Himmelsdorf away from Yogurt. That was also their map pick. So into Pilsen we go. And the question has to be asked, right? If you pick Pilsen in a match like this, is it because you have some strategies that you can just throw away because you don't believe they will work during the playoffs? Or is it a map you're unsure about and you just want to, you know, train a little bit more on it? Or do you actually want to show dominance to make other teams afraid so they ban it against you, whereas you actually don't want to play it?
Well, Pilsen's a popular map for Mafia anyway. It's one of their home maps, and we should point out that these picks and bans were done, what, like 2 days ago, before they knew this match was totally irrelevant in the standings. So I don't think that they're going with that. I mean, Pilsen Mafia like to play it a lot. They've played it plenty of times. They'll probably just do a default strategy and not leak any kind of further ideas they have.
Well, let's see. It will also be interesting to observe if there will be a tank going for that strike that we just saw in the map intro video here. Because, I mean, Hit just showed us that it can be countered oh so easily.
Yeah, they did. We'll see what Mafia can cook up, as well as Yogurt. I think Yogurt will probably just do something aggressive over the middle. That would be my expectation. I don't think they really want to play for like a long game, just due to the nature of the map. I expect Mafia will probably play passive, maybe some K91s in the mix to hold from like K3, depending on what side we're on.
And for Mafia as well, right? They are known to be a laid-back team that gives room, essentially, to the opponents to make mistakes. And Pilsen is, of course, one of those maps that lends itself to a little bit of shenanigans, which might be possible taking a look at the lineup. Still around 20 seconds to go, of course, so we can't be sure if this is actually going to be locked in. For Yogurt, it seems kind of stable at this point in time. BZ75, IS7, E50M, double Fosh B, and an E4. And they do bring YOLO in the light tank. The same can be said for Mafia.
Mafia bringing double 60 TP, double Fosh B. The Gorilla's out once more. Orzhek's playing an E4. And YOLO against YOLO in the RHM. Always a pleasure to be casting that experience. Both YOLOs use the plane at the start, but the YOLO from Mafia, the YOLO from Mafia spots 3. I don't think anyone on Mafia got lit by YOLO from Yogurt.
Yogurt YOLO, so the YOLO, I guess he did end up spotting one, but now he sees the second one with Orzhek. But
I love that the name is just exactly the same as well. There's no capitalization. It's literally
oh, YOLO doing
a
good shot in towards YOLO, though, as YOLO drops down towards 1885. Someone else on the team of Yogurt was able to help YOLO against YOLO. Okay, enough of this.
YOLO is simultaneously winning and losing the 1v1 at the same time.
What an absolute Giga Chat. I think he sits at home and he has arms like an octopus because he's doing two actions at once.
Yeah, he's hitting himself in the face, literally.
All right, double Fosh B being rotated by Mafia over, and the Gorilla of Profuse in support as well. Maybe they'll be able to tag the RHM of Yogurt, though, as they seemingly are unable to. So YOLO with a pickup for his team here, as Conrad starts peeking. Cheeky little action, and of course, yes, he ends up trading, but the 60 TP has 100 more alpha.
Yeah, opportunistic peek from Conrad, just poking and prodding. He's stress testing, essentially. Realizes that there's no one actually covering the BZ, and he can basically just do a shot for free. But YOLO is in trouble here. He's perma-tracked in his RHM. Yogurt, they've pushed straight across the field, and they will find that light tank for free. The double Fosh B is clipping out currently, but they're clipping into Humble, who's another Fosh B who pops his heal ability. Is he going to be able to survive long enough to hold the heal cycle? Maybe just about. There's a couple of bounce shots, and he's gone D-spotted. They will not catch him.
They will not catch him, and I think it was down to the way that Yogurt was actually putting those strikes on towards the Fosh Bs. They had like 1 second in between them, so enough time to react and use the medikit, but then they were stunned for the entire rest, so they couldn't finish Humble off reliably, and now those double Fosh Bs end up getting chased here by enraged Yogurt players as Kono takes one to the back. Rexar, that looked like a track shot. He needs to make sure that he doesn't get perma-tracked in the situation, but I don't think he'll be able to even get his tank out of the situation. He puts one, make that two into Shelby. Another one coming through. That is a lot of damage, but I don't think Kono is running much further as Profuse with that Gorilla. How many stunners is he going to hit? Takes his time to aim, looks at the Fosh, but the Fosh turns his way, so he has to actually look at... Oh no, he goes unspotted. Does he do the damage? Good shot.
Yeah, he got it. His ability ticked up in that exact moment. And to be honest, Mafia, like, it looked really bad for them, but they've actually traded pretty well for this. And they don't have a light tank. That's the main problem, though. They're up. Oh, Profuse finds the kill on Kvik, equalizes it into a 4 versus 4. That IS-7, I believe, was just gone D-spotted. So Profuse putting in 2 important shots there, and they are up HP, but it's on a Gorilla, it's on a full HP 60TP. The 15 seconds left on the cap right now. There is a strike available. YOLO does have it. I believe he's got a plane as well, so maybe he's going to be able to spot. No, he places the strike, only hits one. That's really going to put a lot of pressure on Shelby, who's the next closest person to go and try and block the cap. And once he does go and block the cap, surely Mafia are just going to overpeak to kill him.
Well, 5 seconds remaining here on the cap. I believe that Shelby should easily be making it. And yes, it does end up getting blocked. So for now, so far, so good for Yogurt, but they're still trailing in the HP department. 6.4 to 9,000 almost. As a Yuzek coming in with that 60 TP, still very, very healthy. Invo in the backline, taking damage as well from Profuse in that Gorilla. They end up trading the damage, of course, by the Gorilla, not boosted because he is spotted. But now Mafia re-pushing off the cap here on towards Shelby Walk, who does have the ability active. That's a lot of damage, and Orzhik ends up faltering to it. Conrad down towards one shot, but Humble with no shots remaining, leaving Conrad on 42 HP, and Profuse with a swing and a miss against Humble in that Fosh B. That is a one shot, even to not boosted Alpha. It's going to be enough to take a shot by Conrad. So YOLO, the player we all talked about at the start of the game, ends up with an almost unwinnable 1v3.
He resets Yuzek on the strike as well, which means he's going to be able to start collecting it at the exact same time. The one that's in the coal piles. Profuse is going to be going on a scouting mission. Radar tower is used. Plane is used by YOLO. I'm not sure what we're seeing in his POV, but he is resetting that strike from Yuzek, just preventing him from capturing it. So YOLO, in this 1 versus 3, it's going to take a while if he does win it, but it is possible. First of all, he needs to focus on trying to kill Comrade. He needs to kill Comrade first because he is a one-shot target, but just the other guys, they've got so much health here, and Profuse is being proactive. This is really good gameplay by Profuse, not waiting, and the HE shot does go in there. I don't think he had any ability charge. I think that was what the issue was for Profuse, because if he did have ability charge plus the HE, he can do so much damage to YOLO in just the one shot there. YOLO uses the strike on Profuse, which ultimately is a little bit of a waste when you think about it.
I don't think it was because he didn't have a plane available. He wasn't able to follow up the plane on towards Profuse after taking the HE with a shot in towards him. That meant he was plane-less. But now he does have it available again.
Another good read by Profuse, though. Look at this. He's being so proactive right now. He goes to the balcony once. He does a shot of damage. He knows that YOLO is going to be wanting to try and kill him, so he just repositions. He's being unpredictable, and when you're unpredictable, it's impossible for the light tank to find you in these situations. YOLO does get spotted. Will he use the plane on towards Profuse? He doesn't have a clue. Profuse again with the HE, but he doesn't connect. He doesn't pen it, but it's still basically just a normal alpha shell. He tried to go for the culture there, tried to go for the damage boosted HE shell. Will eventually just get this final kill, goes in, gets the job done.
Exactly, so Profuse having a lot of fun this round and rewards himself with the 3-0 for Mafia over Yogurt here. And it looked kind of close because I think this Mafia repush off of the cap on towards the E50M. They thought they would have an easier time with it, but there was a lot of firepower concentrated on towards the heavies and the Juggernaut TD that was pushing off. And this is, I think, where Mafia was investing a little bit too much, trying to bite off almost more than they could chew. But yeah, it's really important to see here how proactive you can be with a grill. It turns out even when you're in a sniping triangle, you can use WASD, guys. It is possible, and that nets you top of the scoreboard, almost 8,000 damage, 3 kills to his name. Great round from Profuse.
Yeah, very, very good round. I think he'll just be a bit disappointed, frankly, that he didn't manage to connect that alpha-boosted HE shell right at the end. I can't remember what level 3 ability damage increase is on the Gorilla. I think it's like 25%, and then you combine that with the HE shell, which is about 950 alpha. I mean, you're going up to like 1.4k. You're basically becoming an FV.
And this now means that Yogurt is going to be playing possibly their last round in the AMD OLS Season 4, because Mafia have gone to match point throughout all of this.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we expected. 3-0 for Mafia. Just finish it off with one more round.
I mean, I kind of need Yogurt to take this round now, because I actually did predict 4-1. So let's see. But Yogurt's performance in this match so far doesn't give me a lot of hope.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look particularly likely. But you never know. Mafia, they could always just throw away one round. They could get complacent in the late stages here. I mean, it is the apathy championship. It just doesn't matter to either team really. So they could always be nice.
Well, let's see. Pilsen once again is going to be the name of the game, or the name of the map rather. Are we going to see the Battle of YOLO again?
YOLO against YOLO. It never gets old.
Should we just call one
YOLO 1 and YOLO 2?
YOLO, but who is 1 and who is 2?
Whoever's highest on the Onslaught leaderboard.
Can you check that really quickly?
I can't verify that because they love to change their names, so I don't know who that would be.
Well, let's see. I believe we are just about ready to go into what might be the last round of the day and the regular season of the OLS. And both teams still switching the tanks around a little bit. I mean, they're both trolling us and themselves as well, possibly. As we see Yogurt switching into something that looks a bit more normal. Quadruple, make that triple BZ together with a Batchat, a 140, a Foshby, and a T100, possibly, by Invo.
Yeah, Mafia going full culture though. It's double Minotauro, double Foshby, E50M, Type 5, IS7, double Minotauro. It was actually meta at one point in Onslaught. You mentioned it earlier in the stream, back when the ability was basic, the machine gun, the DPM increased the more shots that you received on your tank. The Minotauro was actually meta at one point. Not been since then though.
Let's see. I think the Minotauro's win rate fate might be decided for the Season 4 in this round as well. I don't think we're going to see a lot more of those, as Yogurt open up with a pretty quick and aggressive move in towards the cap. That is triple BZ holding it down, but I think Rachmedik should be able to get that strike. But of course, Rachmedik is on Yogurt. That means there is no strike for the reset available. 12 seconds remaining. Shelby Walk, I think, has also taken a strike here for the team of Yogurt, as now the Minotaur of Conrad gets caught out, but the same can be said about Yuzek, who goes down towards 1000 HP. And yes, there is damage reduction, but it means the Minotaur just ends up getting perma-tracked and shut down. YOLO in the BZ to pick up the first kill of the game. Mafia trying to respond, but they're down in HP, as Kono and Rex are both in the healing part of their ability here. Kono dropping down towards one shot, though, gets picked up by Rachmedik, and the Batchat is running ring around Rexos Rosie, who goes down towards 858, surely to go down later, but Mafia somehow clawing back the HP a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but that's just because the guns from Yogurt are kind of on reload right now. Rexar is just spinning in circles. There's nothing that he can do. Immoreal just doesn't quite have quite enough DPM to kill him as fast as he would want. He'd almost be off of reload by the time he does eventually get that kill, which he does. And now Yogurt, they're going to press that advantage. They're currently in a 6 versus 4, 6 versus 3, make that as the second Minotauro has been taken down, eliminated from the round. And the Type 5 heavy Orzhek, he hasn't really had much to do in this game. He's been full HP and now he's about to get farmed.
Yeah, he does really get punished for that cross. Minus 2k on towards him, and Aphrodite once again doing a very good job in that 140, as he has all season for his team. So YOLO is dropping towards a one-shot, shut down by Shelby Walk. Perfuse, the DPM machine on the Mafia team, is also soon to follow, as Orzhek will be chased down by the hounds of Yogurt.
Yep, cleanly done. I feel like that a lot of this came down to the fact that they had Minotauros and it just didn't work out very well. Shelby gets the final kill and it's nicely executed by Yogurt. The snowballing effect and the power of the BZ75s is shown once again.
And what is shown once again as well is that when you're predicting 4-0, you can never count out the team that is the supposed underdog to take a round from the winners here. Mafia, of course, I mean, that was, to put it bluntly, a kind of unconventional strategy. Double Minotauro is maybe something they cooked up, and maybe in their head, in their minds, it was like a good idea, but as we can clearly see from the battle results, it wasn't.
Ozrik actually did almost 7k, so I guess he was just kind of sniping around at the back. The Minotauros combined did 2,000 between the pair of them, so yeah.
Conrad got a kill, okay? Don't underestimate that. It was the only kill that his team
It was the only kill that his team got, so the Minotaur was ranked first in that category at least. I feel like they could have used them a bit better though. Like maybe Yuzek could have gone tucked inside the building. There's a hole down that you can use to reset the cap, but obviously Minotaur is going to be best when it is hole down, which it wasn't in that game. It was just exposed in the open, and they both just got repushed and died before they were even able to get full clips off.
Alright, so Yogurt with a breath of air, extending the content at the very least by a singular round, because nothing has substantially changed. Mafia still on the match point here, looking for the knockout punch, looking for the finisher against Yogurt, and maybe they will find it on Muravanka. Muravanka, I think, a very skill-dependent map, and I mean, I called out basically all the skills that teams need on Muravanka, which is violence, speed, and momentum, first of all, but then also communication, a good opening strategy, and then quick calls, quick, good reactions towards what the opponent is doing.
And good clutch potential in the end game as well, also very useful.
Crosshair placement. Yeah.
Crosshair placement, communication, focus fire, all that stuff. Very, very useful. I don't know what to expect at this point in this match. Like, Mafia, they had their fun for one round, but they're a pretty serious team, or we think they're a pretty serious team. They don't really mess about too much, but Double Minotauro, maybe they're like, okay, let's not party too hard. Let's not go crazy and just go back to defaults.
The thing is, it's fun to play fun tanks, but it's not fun to lose.
It's not fun to lose with fun tanks, no.
Yeah, no, it's never fun to lose. So Mafia like, okay, maybe we should step it up a bit as well. I think it's kind of a similar mindset that we saw Hit in as well, like in the previous map.
Yeah, they won the first map 2-0, and they're like, okay, we can bring out the FV. Then they lose one round, they're like, nope, this is unacceptable. We can't throw away one round.
What's it going to do to our stats for the regular season of OLS Season 4? Oh my god.
Yeah, those stats are very good for Hit and Run, by the way. I mean, Daki mentioned it. They are Hit and Run. That is the record for like best performance in a regular season. 34 points, and that's even adjusted from back in Season 1, you know, when you didn't get a point for losing in Tiebreaker. Even then, it's still the record of 34 points. So very, very strong from them. Mafia coming in, trying to close out this match for good. Triple BZ rather. Double E50M, 140, and the sack.
And YOLO skipping the light tank Yogurt, not YOLO, but both of them actually skipping the light tank altogether. Quadruple BZ, a singular Centurion played by Aphrodite together with Shelby Walk and Invoreal in the K91. Shelby, of course, in the E50M as Mafia are opening up towards that 1-2 line. And, I mean, Yogurt, they are playing blind. The plane, good enough by YOLO in the Tesak, actually. Spots 4 people. And here, Quick immediately taking a shot of damage in that BZ, trying to boost towards the middle. Of course, Yogurt, at this point in time, they don't know really what they're playing against. They see the W50M on the one line, so they're like, all right, we cannot really commit cap, which is, in turn, what's happening from the Mafia side as the triple BZ drive into that one. But, of course, Rachmedik already capturing the artillery strike. That is enough to prompt Mafia in towards this re-push on towards YOLO. The focus fire pretty good so far. YOLO down towards 1000 HP. He drives safely from the E50M that need to commit in, but the BZs, they have reloaded, and YOLO, the first victim of the game. Mafia, they do not look to stop. Kono taking a lot of damage in that E50M though. Shelby taking even more down towards a possible one-shot. Gets shot down by Kono. It's 2 versus 0 kills.
Yeah, Mafia just snowballing that advantage. The element of surprise that they had because they denied information from their opposition. The Tasaka's essentially just been driving around, bit of a tourist in this game, because he did his job, which was about 14 damage, just resetting that radar tower, and the rest of his team has cleaned up and done the job. They will finish off the kills. Tasak going in, doing some high impact gameplay, just distracting Imreal in his K91, trying to shoot HE, does not connect unfortunately. Yuzek is the big brother here to protect his light tank.
He's like a gotcha, homie, and Orze to shut down Invo as quick. The last tank remaining for Yogurt is trying to win against an E50M, but of course Profuse, the team captain himself, doesn't miss those at point blank range. So Mafia, they end up dropping around, but it doesn't really end up mattering, as a Yogurt stays defeated and humbled a little bit against the team of Mafia that I believe for the regular season now is going to be the 2nd seed, playing against Cashback in the first match on Saturday. But yeah, I think we really saw here in between the last 2 rounds what kind of difference it made in the mindset of Mafia, being like, okay, we're not getting away with the double Minotauro, let's just finish this.
Yeah, I just go back to something that works, right? And the Tasak ultimately enables Profuse, team captain, to do 6,000 damage in his E50M, and there's just no way that Yogurt could know exactly what was coming from that situation, because they just had complete denial of information by the Tasak. And you know, it's kind of a gimmick, but ultimately that's what it's there for. You can just spray and pray. Ironically, Imreal was spotted anyway, so you don't actually need Tasak to reset in that situation, but they did it nonetheless.
Yeah, and so this is going to conclude the regular season of the AMD OLS Season 4. So first of all, congratulations to Hit for a really, I think, solid, might be underselling it, for a great performance in both Phase 1 and Phase 2. And of course also to Mafia and Cashback for making it 2nd and 3rd. They are going to be facing off immediately, and also to Weekend. I think Weekend, even though they kind of left off towards the end of Phase 1, and then, you know, Phase 2 wasn't too hot anymore for them, it is kind of unexpected for Weekend to make it into the finals. And of course, the other thing we have to mention is the performance of W, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could bash on about that again, but I'm sure we'll have plenty more opportunities in the future with WCI around the corner. But you're right, you know, there's a couple of themes to the season. I think Mafia pretty much stayed just about the same sort of form as we've seen from basically every season. They're just kind of there or thereabouts, but never quite at the top, apart from the like individual tournaments like Winter Invitational and the Onslaught Legends Cup. But Hit and Run, like, it is statistically the best regular season that we have ever seen, and I don't know why, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that in my mind. Perhaps when we look back, you just remember it differently. But the Cashback season from Season 1 and the regular Season 2, it always felt like it was way more dominant. But Hit and Run, they have an 11-1 winning record. The only game they lost in the entire season was in Phase 1 to Weekend, when Weekend were on their hot streak of form, and they just blitzed past them 3-0.
Yep. Kind of crazy to think about it. Maybe stuff for an upset, but for Hit to face Weekend in the playoffs, quite some things would need to happen. First of all, though, this is going to conclude the last play day of the regular season. Today is the 6th of November 2025, and that means we have 2 more streams remaining. Those are going to be Saturday and Sunday. Mark your calendars, because both of those streams are, of course, going to have extremely juicy Twitch drops as well. Not only are we going to double the OLS tokens that you'll be able to earn per stream. So far every single stream had 5 OLS tokens. There it will be 5 plus 5, and last time I checked that was 10, so 20 total during the weekend.
Yeah, it's a lot of tokens to collect just immediately, right? Just squeeze in all those tokens right towards the back end of the season, which is definitely going to be nice for those people that maybe haven't had the opportunity to watch every single play day of OLS to get those drops right at the end.
Yeah, and here you can, of course, see the token earnings as well. The weekend drops for the Saturday and the Sunday are going to be 5 plus 5, 5 plus 5. That's a total of 20, 10 per day. And, of course, as it is weekend streams, it's going to start at 3 p.m. UTC. That is 4 p.m. Central European Time. So 2 hours earlier than today, respectively. Other than that, I guess thank you very much, Moff, for casting with me. Thank you, of course, as well to Ducky, who is not on screen right now, but I know he's listening. And, of course, as is tradition by now, we'll be raiding that man as well. So if you haven't yet, then you'll be able to finish your OLS token store drops there. By the way, if you have enough tokens already for the stuff that you want, then you should remember to, of course, claim it in the game. I believe the last possible day for that is 13th of November, but I'll read up on it before the finals on the weekend. And with everything being said and done, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in less than 2 days.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.